Hello and welcome back to Xpwaste, where I pulled an Oxie this week and I didn't play Runescape at all. Hi, I'm Michael.
And I'm the guy that doesn't play RuneScape. I do. I actually have been playing it a lot. My name is Oxie. I'm the other co-host of the Xpwaste podcast. If you're new around here, we are a podcast that talks almost exclusively about old school RuneScape. Almost exclusively being the key word. We are like 90% OSRS, 9.5% whatever random thoughts pop into our head. And I may even venture to say that within the next couple of weeks, we will be 0.5% RS3. Brace yourself. It's okay. It's not this week. I'm not going to scare you. Just keep it together, everybody. But again, if you're here for old school content, today's going to be a good day because we're talking a lot about old school RuneScape. If you're not new around here, I unfortunately have barely played old school RuneScape at all this week. But boy, let me tell you, the main has been getting a lot of hours in. Michael, my friend, what have you been up to this week? You've not been playing RuneScape. Why have you abandoned us?
So, without getting into too much of my personal life, I was on a work trip.
Which is the
New
whole
York.
point of this part of the
Yeah.
podcast.
Yeah.
Without getting too much into my personal life, proceeds to spend the next 20 minutes talking about our personal lives.
I'm not going to recount my whole work trip, but so the way that my job is set up is there's the whole customer support department, which is probably close to 100 people. And then they have mid-level managers who then have people direct reports underneath them. And I think right now, there's probably 10 to 12 mid-level managers, and then they call them pods. Each pod has 6 to 8 people. So my pod, we all went to New York, and I ate some delicious food. We got to go to a Mets game where they played the Padres. We didn't stay the whole time, but I'm pretty sure the San Diego Padres spanked them. There was one really good play in the 4th or 5th inning where the Padres had the bases loaded, 2 strikes, 2 outs, and they hit a home run. And the crowd went mild because obviously it wasn't the home team. But I was freaking out because that's really cool. I wasn't necessarily rooting for either team. I was just rooting for whatever team was cooler and at that very moment. So I have no affiliation to either of them. So
Michael is horrible to watch live sports with. On TV, I'm sure it's fine, but Michael is the single most dangerous person you can take with you to a sporting event. For Xpwaste North, I took him to a Tigers game the day before the meetup. We are in Midtown Detroit. We are watching the Tigers play the Marlins or something. Cabrera was still on the team, and we're getting our asses beat. It's 6-0. It's bad. And because the Tigers were bad, the tickets were super cheap. So we got seats right behind the Tigers dugout, maybe 15, 20 rows back from the dugout. We were sitting really good. Michael's dumbass, every time the Marlins would strike the Tigers out or they would hit a fucking triple, just nail it all the way across the park, Michael would be going, "Let's go, boys. Yeah. Good job, boy. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, boy." I literally lean over. I'm like, Michael, you gotta shut the hell up. He's like, dude, who cares? I'm not rooting for either one of these teams. I don't really like the whole sports ball thing. I don't really care. I'm like, Michael, you've got to shut the hell up. People were turning around with mean looks on their face. Michael was sitting there, and these people were ready to kill him. I'm like, Michael, you gotta listen to me, buddy. We are in Detroit at a Tigers game. I have seen Lions fans fight Cowboys fans at Ford Field before. You need to shut the hell up. And he's like, is it really that big of a deal? And then I think he started to look around and notice that people really were giving him mean looks. And he's like, you want to get up and get a hot dog? I'm like, hey, let's get the fuck out of here, dude. Michael is a risky man to watch live sports with, especially if he has no affiliation to the home team at all.
I'm going to blow your mind, Oxie. So the tagline for the Mets is "Let's go Mets." They have LGM everywhere, and they have a chant dun, da, 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 "Let's go Mets." During that, I went dun, da, 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 "Fuck the Mets." I screamed it at the top of my lungs. So at least I don't change. What are you gonna do?
My man has a death wish.
I do.
And
I
I
do.
guess that's fine with him, I suppose.
Listen, I've never been in a fight, but I think it would be hilarious to get in a fight over baseball. Just
the thing is, like, you would not care. You would be like, oh yeah, it's totally fine. Like I'll get in a fight. It's no problem. Until some like drunkard who's been watching this sport since he was 4 years old just takes what you've said so personally and so offensively that he just tries to beat you to a pulp. You're gonna be like, what's the big deal, bro? And he's gonna be like smashing bottles over people's heads. You got to be real careful with that, Michael.
that would be hilarious.
So, anyways, you're trying to get your ass beat in New York. Tell me, how's it going?
Yeah. I'm trying. Like, I still didn't get my ass beat. You know, I'm gonna continue to rile up the crowd anywhere I go. I mean, if I go to a Rangers game, obviously I'm rooting for the Rangers, but that's just the home team. But we did a Rangers game. We had like a really fancy dinner where I've never seen a bill for a meal as high as I saw this one. I'm afraid to tell you because I don't know if like I should disclose that company information, but it was a lot of money. It was 4 digits, a lot of money. Between 8 people, like if you just like divide it up between the 8 people, it's like not terrible, but the entree that I had personally was $42. It was like a suckling pig with potatoes and like this jus sauce. It was quite delicious. It reminded me of like really good barbecue. And we had desserts for everyone. The flan was amazing. It was a place called Ernesto's, if you've ever been there. If anybody out there is around the New York area, I think Ernesto's is like somewhat famous. When you go in, you don't actually know what the menu is going to be because apparently I heard it changes just depending on the day of like what ingredients they were able to get. So you could go once and then go another time and it's completely different. But it was really good. And then Thursday, we went and saw a Broadway show. We went and saw Wicked, which was, for lack of a better phrase, it was wicked. So good. I knew I liked theater, but actually seeing a show on Broadway was amazing. It doesn't compare. Like, I understand why like Broadway shows and theater and stuff is so popular still to this day because there's nothing like that level of live entertainment where it transcends what we can ever experience on a screen. You're there, you're experiencing it. They're living it, they're doing it. It's crazy good. And it's making me really excited for Wicked Part 2, the movie that's coming out in November, where I'm really interested to see how they're going to adapt Act 2 to a screen. Because if you've ever seen Wicked, Act 1 is like phenomenal. Act 2 is okay. It's good. But like Act 1 really is the highlight of that show. Act 2 kind of just puts a bow on it. So I'm really interested to see again how they do the movie. It's going to be great. Ariana Grande is the perfect actress to play Glinda in like the big screen because she like embodies the Glinda role so beautifully. It's like looking at a mirror. I think Glinda is my favorite character in the Wicked musical. She's so funny. You don't really understand her. This is the 0.5% that's not RuneScape, guys. So listen, I didn't play RuneScape at all. I wanted to play leagues, but I was on a work trip, okay? What are you gonna do? So then, Friday, the highlight of my day was having my flight canceled 2 times.
Like got canceled or delayed?
Yeah, canceled. So my flight was originally going to be at 6 p.m. I was going to get home by like 9 or 10. It was going to be great. I got to the airport at around 4 because my wife arranged this whole thing for me to pick up a cat while I was in Manhattan. And I was flying with the cat, so I had to go early to like check her in and get everything situated. Luckily, I did that. But something happened with like the Dallas airport or like the Dallas area where neither airport was able to get a signal to like work the radar. I don't know. It's like all still very confusing what happened, but apparently they had like 1,800 delayed flights and like half of those were canceled
Damn.
just that night, and I happened to be flying back that night, so it really sucked. I was at the airport from like 4 o'clock until almost midnight. I think I stayed until like 11:30, and then finally at like 11:30 they canceled it because it was I don't know, it was bad. It was terrible. So I ended up flying out the next day, the whole thing. So I got back yesterday, and I am exhausted, very much exhausted. But
welcome back.
Yeah, thanks. And then this morning, 15 minutes before we started recording, found out my AC's not working. And I'm in Texas, y'all, where in like a couple hours, it's going to be 90 degrees, close to October. So pray for me, please. I don't want to die. Luckily, we could probably just go to my brother's house and hang out there. Be good for my kid to see his cousins. But yeah, dude, it was such a fun week. Such a great week. Had amazing food. I ate donuts like every single day. There was this like gourmet donut shop that the donuts were like that big, like almost the size of your face and like super thick. They had really great flavors. I don't think I really did anything touristy, which was nice, but I've been to New York and I've done all the touristy stuff. Saw all the landmarks and things like that, but I'm going to definitely go back and see another Broadway show because that was highlight of the week. Definitely. You says no bagels when you're in New York is a sin. I had bagels one time. They were good. But like bagels aren't like my favorite. So I know that New York bagels are the best. But funny story, I actually cut my thumb trying to actually cut my bagel. And it's starting to heal, which is great.
There are so many things that I have as points. Did you cut your hair? Are you rocking a mullet?
I've always been rocking a mullet. What are you talking about?
I don't know why. Did you recently get it cut? It just looks very well shaved on the sides. I don't know why. I just noticed that now.
The wife cut it before I left last week, Sunday night.
Totally. That was totally irrelevant. But
I've had a mullet this whole for like months.
I feel like I don't know. This is why you can't rely on men to notice things like haircuts, because it's like you gotta grow that bitch out, Michael. You really gotta. It's too much business and not enough party. You know, you gotta.
So starting last year and like fall of last year, it was what we called a 2-take mullet, where it was kind of short. Like it looked like a mullet if you just did a double take.
Mm-hmm.
But now I've let the back grow out a bunch, and I'm like slowly letting it grow out more and more and more between cuts. And I might get to the point where it's like a real party in the back, business up front type deal.
Mm-hmm.
I'm digging it.
Well, anyways, my other point was I did not know you knew ball like that. I did not know you were a musical theater enjoyer.
Oh yeah, dude. Oh yeah.
I did not know that.
My mom, because I was homeschooled, and my mom had this, like, she signed us up for when we were kids. We could go to there was a theater somewhere in Dayton where I grew up, and once a month they had a new show that we would go to. So like growing up, I went to a fair few musical performances. We didn't go every single month, but when we did, it was actually really good. Fun fact, to tie it all back to RuneScape, the day that I got introduced to RuneScape was after one of those musicals that we went to, one of the theater shows, where another homeschool friend, like, they introduced us after, like, we were eating lunch, and I remember writing runescape.com down on a napkin and taking it home. So that's actually crazy memory.
Look at that. The more
I do ball,
know.
bro. I do ball.
Did not know you knew ball.
I can ball some more. So Hamilton is playing currently, and Leslie Odom Jr. is reprising his role as Aaron Burr. And tickets were like $600 or $700 for like, or no, maybe it was like $200. It was like $250 for the nosebleeds. So I really wanted to go and see Leslie Odom Jr. reprise his role as Aaron Burr, but I didn't get to. The plan, so calling back to the canceled flight, on Friday, flights were canceled. When I was looking, I didn't see any for Saturday that didn't have a connection. And so I was like, oh, I'll leave Sunday. I'll leave Sunday morning super early. And then I was like, no, I want to be home. And so
Mhm.
I just bit the bullet and got a connection flight that got me home at like 3 o'clock. But as I was contemplating flying home on Sunday, I was like, ooh, I could go to the theater early in the morning and see if they have any rush tickets for Hamilton and see Hamilton like Saturday night. Because if they have any tickets that they haven't sold yet, they sell them to you super cheap. You just have to go up to the box office, wait in line right when it opens, and they sell out all of like the unsold seats. My manager said that he saw, what was it, Book of Mormon for like $20. So I was like, dude, now's my time. I can go and get a random seat to watch Hamilton for maybe like $50. But I ended up flying home on Saturday, so that didn't happen. But I do enjoy me a good theater performance, yes.
Hmm.
Oxie, what did you need to carry the RuneScape section? So why don't you tell us what you did this week?
What I did this week has been I have done one activity in old school RuneScape. I have gotten roughly 1.2 to 1.4 million strength XP on the iron. I actually just hit 90 strength this morning after gaining,
Let's go.
I kid you not. Let me look at the picture I posted in the chat last night. 1,074,000 strength XP at Crab. I spent the entire day at Crab yesterday. I'm talking from like 11 a.m. until about 3:30 in the morning.
Holy crap,
I was at
dude.
Crab, and I have not played RuneScape like that in forever. I played it for just a hell of time. My what's these things I'm wearing? The Blood Moon is about halfway degraded. I've got the hat and the legs. I was training magic to get 85 to wield the shadow, and then I ran out of blood runes, and then I was like, hey, no rush. Does anybody have any blood runes? I think I'm gonna try to train strength. So like, I don't know, maybe I can have blood runes for magic. And then I just haven't checked the chest. I have not been to a bank in about a week because I've just been here in full melee gear, logging in, killing it at work when I have downtime. I'm killing it on my remote days. I am just beating the shit out of this crab. And that is because we're nothing if not standing on business. And on Tuesday, I loaded up the main in RS3, and I have been playing RS3 leagues for about a week now.
Hell yeah.
My TLDR, because I kind of want to save this topic for another episode. Brace yourselves, XP wasters. I want to save this topic for another episode. I'm currently sitting at like 1200 ish, a little over 1200 total level. There are some things that I don't love about this league, but there's a lot of things I am enjoying. It really recontextualizes how much of an advantage it is to know about the game before going into a league. We don't think about the fact that when a new league comes out in old school, we're just like, let's rock and roll. We're going to get tier 4, tier 5 by the first day, right?
Yeah.
I have no idea what is happening sometimes in RS3, and it shows. Like I am training things super slowly. I have had to actually like interact and speak with people in game and be like, "Hey, what the hell is this? Like what is going on here?" Seth has been very helpful. Salted Snail Seth has been very helpful in my understanding of what the point of some of this stuff is. I'm currently cutting an evil maple tree because this game does surprisingly work while I'm recording, which is great, you know? But yeah, RS3 has been interesting. If you haven't played it yet, I advise you play it. Give it a try. It's different in a lot of ways. The evolution of combat isn't that bad because you're just going to be set on automatic rotation and it's not going to matter on the low levels. The evolution of combat isn't that bad. There are no microtransactions because you are, in fact, an Iron Man. And the daily scape is super annoying. I'm not going to lie. There's really no way around the daily scape, but you just don't have to do it. Anyways, try it if you haven't yet. Try it. Hopefully, they've made some quality of life adjustments, but I will bitch about that in a future episode. And that is because this is to save this conversation for later, right? I thought, how are we going to be able to talk about this without people losing their minds like they did last time? People were like ready to fly to Michigan and Texas and physically beat Michael and I's asses in the booth, let alone the episode itself. So how do we set this up for people where they know in advance, right, that this is coming? Michael, you're home now. It's time for you to get on the league. I would like to offer a formal challenge to my favorite co-host of the Xpwaste podcast, Michael, Mr. Podcasters, Mr. Bloodhound in a past life. You have 2 weeks. The current date is September 21st. You have until October 5th, which will be the episode that comes out on October 9th. You have until October 5th when we record that episode to achieve one of two things.
Okay.
Either your tier 5 combat relic or your fire cape.
Oh, okay. Are the fight caves the same? I feel like they haven't changed them. Okay. That seems like incredibly easy. I don't know. I've never played RS3.
Well, I'm not going to send you to fucking Zuck. I'm not going to be like, hey, Michael, you have 2 months to conquer fucking Sentistan and become the world eater guardian, whatever you're fucking called in this game. Because that is the shitty part. There are like 462 quest points. They do not auto unlock anything. They do not auto unlock any quest. The only quest that is auto unlocked in the entire fucking league is the Plague's End line, which is Song of the Elves. They give you Prif for free. That is it.
That's it?
It is a Shattered Relics-esque league.
Oh,
though
my.
the relics are standard. You don't have to like collect them. But the whole world is open and you just sort of like go do shit.
Free ball it,
which is really nice for exploring particularly RS3 just because of like how expansive the game is. But give it a try. You have 2 weeks. I know a fire cape is not the steepest goal in the world, but the combat is different.
But it's familiar enough.
It's
and I'm an Iron Man, so like,
it's familiar enough. You are an Iron Man. Some things do just intuitively make sense as a RuneScape player. What I have been told, but have yet to really experience yet, protection prayers only protect 50% of the incoming damage. So, while yes, the fire cape is objectively not a difficult goal, you will need to learn a thing or two about RS3 combat in order to achieve it. I am nowhere near a fire cape, but you have 2 weeks. You have until not this episode, not next episode, the episode after that. So the episode that comes out on October 9th. This isn't for Michael. This is for the people listening on Thursday morning going, oh my God, not more RS3. Play it, cowards. And then Michael, you've got 2 weeks. Tier 5 combat relic or your fire cape.
You want to know a fun fact? I don't think I've even told you this. So, hello world. On October 2nd, I'm getting the old snip done. So, I'll be recovering that weekend.
So he can rush that bitch. He's got 3 days.
Yeah, so no, it's actually I'm getting the snip on Thursday. Then I have Friday off. Then it's the weekend. So, I'll have 3 days of recovery, but the doctor said literally like they don't want you doing anything but like at most sitting. So Friday will be a great day to play RuneScape.
Oh, that is gonna be excellent. I am the kind of guy who, when the day comes when I get that done, I want to get it done in March so I can just watch basketball for a million years and not have to go to work. That sounds excellent. But getting it done when you have a challenge ahead of you during leagues, if it can't be during March Madness, during leagues is a great time to get your vasectomy, you guys.
I should have scheduled it. I should have scheduled it the day before Gridmaster.
No, dude, although push that bitch back and get it done before they go.
No, listen, we're going to my wife's family in Connecticut. We're going to be there for like 2.5 weeks. So I want to be fully recovered before I go to Connecticut because we're gonna be busy when we get there. So I want to be able to like 2 weeks. I think we're leaving on the 18th, so like nearly 3 weeks at home before we fly out again is going to be enough time.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm kind of excited. I've put this off for a long time. For those of you who don't know, I have one kid, and that's enough for me. We're just going to collect pets from now on. You know, we got more pets than I thought we'd ever have. We have 2 Goldens and now a kitty cat who we've named Donut. If you've read Dungeon Crawler Carl, you know why. Donut's amazing. And she's a little Siberian. She's so cute. I'll probably, during the, like when we come back from this segment, when we go back to our second, like, or after the break, I should say, probably show you guys. So that's a reason to stick around and don't just fast forward.
Perfect.
Just
Oh my
stick
God.
around.
Yeah. We'll know if the cat won't show up if you fast forward. We've talked to the people at Spotify and they know.
Yeah.
They'll know to hide
And
the
I'll
cat.
have her, I'll do it randomly. So it's not even going to be like, welcome back. Hope you enjoyed that episode. It's not even going to be right then. That'll be random. So Thank you, Void said, oh, Dungeon Crawler Car reference. Let's go. Dude, I just started book 7 this morning. It's so good. I wish Oxie was into audiobooks because Oxie, I think you would really like it. Do you like to read physical books?
I don't really read at all.
Buy you. Oh, okay.
But
I will buy you the first book if you'll read it.
Like,
but you don't read.
I was going to say, I don't really read, but I certainly appreciate the sentiment.
It's like, without being dramatic, I think it's one of my favorite book series of all time. I really like, the Aragon series. I love Red Rising. What's some other ones? We Are Bob is really, really good. But this just takes the cake on like storytelling and in adding elements from other things that I like D&D, video games, magic systems. Like, it's just so good. It's so good. And the characters are so well written. Jeff Hayes, the narrator, does an amazing job. He's the audiobook narrator, but Matt Dinneman is the author. I think I'm saying his last name correctly. He's the author, and then Jeff Hayes is the amazing audiobook reader. Audiobook is different. Like, an audiobook can be made or broken. That's a weird way to say it, but you could, like, the narrator makes or breaks an audiobook for me. It really does. Like, I have wanted to get into Brandon Sanderson books so badly, but for some reason, I cannot stand Michael Crichton or whatever his name is, the narrator. It's not Michael Crichton. His name is Michael K. It's like, I can't remember his last name, but I can't stand his voice. I really cannot stand his voice. And so I think for one of the, like, that would have to be something that I physically read versus listening to it. But ADHD mixed in with a little bit of dyslexia mixed in with like binocular dysfunction. I'm not bipolar. Binocular dysfunction.
I was like,
makes reading.
I was like, please don't try to diagnose yourself as bipolar, Michael. You do not have bipolar disorder.
I have binocular dysfunction. For all those out there who know what that is, that's why I'm wearing glasses. I can see perfectly. It's just my eyes don't align together all the time correctly. And I have my eyes have to strain to see images in a singular focus. And so that I call it micro strain, but it's like, it's very nonchalant strain. But when you go throughout the entire day straining your eyes ever so slightly, it causes headaches. And I be getting headaches every single day. And I did get new glasses, back to the Harry Potter style. For all you guys, it's Hagrid over there, and I'm Harry Potter again. Actually, I think we've talked enough about not RuneScape. What do you think?
I think so. Yeah, I think we've about covered it. So
we've covered everything. Not
talking about not RuneScape has in fact meant talking about RuneScape, just not in the relevant things. So what the hell are we talking about this week, Michael?
Well, my dear Oxie, it is the third and final installment of the sailing blog series that we were doing. It's not really a series, but we told you guys last time we did this, we're like, we got one more, and it's the Slayer whatever. And just typical Jagex fashion, they released this blog the day we release our episode where we say, and I quote, nothing is happening in the game. So
people really
make us look like an idiot again.
People were really clowning on us. Like, this is, I swear to God, one of you fuckers in the recording booth chat has to work at Jagex. One of you guys has to be on the team that like organizes the cadence of release. Like, I met one of the J mods who's like a release manager at RS, not for RS3, just like for Jagex in general. She was working the merch stand. I don't remember her name. I met another mod as well, Mod River, I think, who was part of some other department in Jagex. One of you is in this booth because it can't happen every single week. It really can't happen every single week. That we're like,
it does,
nothing's going on. We're not that worried about it. And then all of a sudden, here's a big thing going on, you know?
The day we release our episode, every single time. But listen, we get to it, right? We get to talk about it. It's just we look like idiots, which is fine. So Slayer, this one's entitled Sailing Slayer Creatures, Unique Drops, and More. Why don't you kick us off with the old 2 points for Gryffindor?
Oh, I thought you were going to talk about the video. Did you watch the video, Michael?
I didn't watch the video.
Why didn't you watch the video?
Because you know who I heard did it? That guy.
Skritic? What do you have against Skritic?
The other one.
What is wrong with you?
I've never even heard of Skritic. Who are you even?
Oh my God. The ego on Michael is insane. Anyways.
No, it's worst. I didn't watch the video. I will watch the video, but you know, I like to read.
Mm-hmm.
We just talked about the
after
fact
just
that I
going
can't
through
read.
a whole rant about how you have some sort of binocular dysfunction where your eyes cross and never line up when you read. Now suddenly, when no monkeys involved, audiobooks are the devil. That's crazy.
Remember how I also said the narrator can make or break something? It's relevant.
God, you're the worst. I cannot wait to have him on the show. I really can't. I'm so excited. I cannot wait. Oh,
2 points for Gryffindor. It's a new monster.
Jesus God. Yeah, there are a lot of new monsters coming, which is super cool. There are 4 new Slayer creatures: the Griffins, the Strike Worms, the Aqua Knights, and the Frost Dragons. And I believe of those 4 monsters, and I know this from doing so much RS3 leagues, 3 of them are from RS3.
Really?
Aqua Knights, Strike Worms, and Frost Dragons, I believe, are in RS3 in various locations. I'm not entirely sure where because I ain't playing that game that much. But the Griffin is the new unique monster coming, so it's fun that we get to talk about that first. And Kyrandia said more reasons to hate on sailing. I swear to God, I'm gonna put all the shamanism enjoyers in a little dinghy, and I'm gonna sail you right off the edge of the map. Like,
sail them off.
Like, I'm not even gonna you're just gonna get sailed into oblivion. Like, open your world map, find the border. I'm gonna sail you into the black part and the border because I'm sick of this. Anyway.
Dude, somebody on Reddit had the goal in 2025 to say that everything they've seen is basically a mini game. How? Explain to me, random Reddit commenter. How is this a mini game? It's so in depth. I mean, Dungeoneering, I will admit, when it came out, was probably closer to a mini game than an actual skill. But this is an actual skill, guys. It's not a mini game. 2 points for Gryffindor. You got they seem low level to me. That's the thing that sticks out the most.
Just to build off of your previous comment, everything in this game is a mini game. You go through the gameplay loop. Seriously, you go through the gameplay loop. You cut the tree, you burn the log. You cut the tree, you fletch the log. You cut the tree, you sell the log. It's all just the little tiny mini loops that you do that make up the whole function of the machine. It's like saying people are just atoms. Like, yeah, no shit. That's what everything is. I don't know if I like that logic. Like, I like it, but I don't know if it's fair to. Anyways, I'm getting off track. Griffins are what we're talking about. I gotta level with you, Michael. They look kind of stupid.
What?
I
What?
like the concept of the griffin, but the fact that they could have chosen any other bird of prey. They could have chosen any other bird of prey, and they said, let's pick a seagull. Like, I understand there are variants of that. Like, there are that whole, like, quote unquote genre of animals, that like your skuas, your albatrosses, things like that they can be imposing, right?
Mhm.
Oh, I don't. Maybe it's just the color scheme or the lack of detail. I think because I like the way the superior griffin looks, and I like the way the griffin boss looks. But just the regular old normal griffins with their smooth feathers, I'm
Mhm.
just not. I'm just not a fan. I'm not the biggest fan in the world.
Looks
It's
kind of
not.
boring.
I think it's just a strange choice to pick a seagull. Like, am I gonna hate it? Probably not, but you are correct. They require 51 Slayer, and they need to be unlocked through Neve and Duradel, which means they're like a low-level monster you're hardly ever gonna see. Kind of like how warped creatures were when they first came out.
But what's crazy though, they can be assigned by Duradel with a fairly high weighting, a 7. I
Yeah.
think out of 10
Mm-hmm.
in batches of it up to 210, which is cool.
That's probably the
because
extent. You probably have to extend them at that point.
yeah, that's true. But it's really cool because there's a boss variant, which we'll get to here in a second. But Griffins themselves offer a unique drop, which is called the Horn of Plenty, which at this point is one of the only like skilling focused offhands that we have. What the Horn of Plenty is going to do is it's going to give you a +4 invisible boost to your hunter level when it's equipped, and when it's going to consume charges, which is the griffin feathers. It consumes a charge every 1 in 25 catches, and that's going to basically give you a 1 in 10 chance to double your catch without the extra XP. Pretty neat. I wonder if that applies to herbivore. And like, what does that mean? Does it give you double the herbs? Maybe.
Could
But
be.
the herb is not really. The herb is like a secondary effect. You catching the herbivore doesn't actually give you anything, except for like Noblite and fossils and stuff. But this will be great for like if you're doing chins. I don't know if you would want to take this out to black chins, but for the low price of griffin feathers, you have a 1 in 10 chance to double to get like a second chin.
I mean,
Which is really.
I guess it depends on what the rarity of this thing is, right? Like, if it's something super easy to get, because again, I know we're talking Iron Man brain here. Like, if it's easy to obtain, then sure, might as well just take it out with you.
Mhm.
If you're a main, there's no way this horn is that expensive.
Oh yeah.
If you want to do black
if
chins
it's tradable
for some reason,
I get
as
what
a
you
main
mean.
account, just
Like
take
you're
it
not
with
really
you.
risking it.
Yeah, just take it with you and risk it. Like, it'll be expensive on day one. There's no way this thing maintains value. And that right there is an example of how Oxie's going to look like a dumbass when this thing has a 10 mil value because Hunter is cracked in the new sailing update. Who knows? Neither here nor there. The drop is cool. The horn drop. I'm kind of interested in the actual mechanic of them itself. Did you read the mechanic or did you just look at the drop?
The mechanic of the drop or the mechanic of the
mechanic of the actual
Griffin
griffins
mechanic.
themselves, yeah.
Yeah, I
Their
did.
little
They
combat
have
mechanic thing.
They have a little like your weight has to be like your weight comes into effect. It's very interesting for being such a low level like Slayer creature to have that level of unique mechanics, because I'm trying to think of other Slayer creatures around that level, and nothing sticks out to me that like you need to be aware of like specific mechanics. Sure, like Dust Devils, you have to wear a Slayer helm. I mean, you could prove me wrong. I'm like, nothing comes to mind currently.
Banshees, drain your stats if you attack them without earmuffs on. Aberrant Specters, drain your stats if you do not have a nose peg on. Dust Devils, fuck your shit up if you do not have a face mask on. Cockatrice and Basilisks, even regular Basilisks, will fuck your shit up if you do not have a mirror shield. This even extends into monsters that don't necessarily have a mechanic, but have a special way they need to be killed. For example, you have things like the slugs that need to be salted, the lizards that need to be iced, gargoyles. What are those damn thing called? Zygomites, right? The whole point of the Slayer skill is to learn how to kill monsters that cannot be killed by traditional means. So I really like the fact that they are putting this mechanic in the game. I really do.
I do want to clarify. I do want to clarify because Vacant Void just screenshotted the entire list of items that are specific to like creatures that you need. I'm talking about, I know that exists. Like I know that there's specific items, and for the most part, the ones that are very useful are like combined into the Slayer helm. So you don't even think about the fact that like, yes, earmuffs are specific to a specific creature. So you just wear your Slayer helm. But simply wearing your Slayer helm is not going to be enough weight to negate this effect. Like you don't have to buy a super heavy, dumbbell from Duradel to be like, take this when you're killing griffins. No, it's dependent on what you're wearing. So it's in my brain, it's different. That's why I bring that up.
I mean, I guess because we've never seen it before, but the last line of this paragraph says the Tortugans might have a trick or two worth borrowing. That tells me you're going to get an item to weigh you down and kill the griffins. I bet you the first quest or the second quest in the Tortugan quest line where you actually deal with these griffins is going to be learning how to fight them without getting knocked back. Like that's going to be a big issue. And Vacant Void says the shell cape slot and it's heavy AF. It could be something like that. 100%. It could be a shell cape. It could be heavy boots. It could just be something you keep in your inventory that maybe like doubles as a teleport there. That would be super cool. If there's like a conch shell that you can rub that weighs like 20 kg, which is heavy as shit. And then it like keeps you weighed down and also allows you to teleport to the island. Like that would be super cool. But I don't think this is like, I'm not offended by this mechanic. I think it's kind of neat. I'm not going to lie. I don't know. It's just like refillable sandbags, finally a use for all those buckets of sand. Could you imagine, Rejected Wish, if they do that? If they do some shit like they did in RS3 with the ashes. And I don't say this because I'm playing leagues. This was like actually a thing that happened when Necromancy came out. I remember hearing about it. Ashes were valueless, just like they are in OSRS. And people have been collecting them like you do with various items for years because who gives a shit about ashes, right? Like nobody cares. And then ashes became a core component of necromancy training and they shot up to like thousands of GP apiece. It would be like if Pure Essence went from 1 or 2 GP to like 3,500 GP overnight. And
I'd be a billionaire.
People's stacks were worth like people were making shitloads of money. If they did something like that with sand that is auto deposited into people's banks, like I really want to know. I'm not logged into Old School on the main right now. I'm probably pushing 100K. I'm pushing 100K sand on the main.
Wow.
If not more than that. I have no idea. Just from not interacting with that mechanic at all because I'm a maxed main who trained crafting with battle staves because I have money. Like I'm not blowing glass. What am I, poor? I'm not doing that. I did blow glass for a long time. I blew glass until like probably 90 crafting. I'm not gonna lie, them light orbs aren't too bad. But yeah, I think that'd be wild if they used like a refillable sandbag option. It would be tedious though during a fight. Like
oh yeah, you have to bring buckets of sand or something.
Yeah.
Or no, you're you load it up with like 1,000 buckets of sand and then oh no, I ran out. 1,000 buckets of sand would be so heavy though.
I also kind of think that like this whole weight mechanic is going to be completely mitigated. If you're like using melee, you won't even have to think about it.
Yeah.
Like,
but it does say that magic is best, but melee will also be a viable way to take them down. That's the quote there. They're particularly weak to magic, especially air spells, but melee will also be a viable way to take them down. They have a special mechanic where, if a player's total weight is too low, the Griffin will knock them back, dealing unavoidable damage. Kind of like, the only thing that comes to mind is Callisto, but you can avoid that. You can just pray magic for a second, and then you're good. I'm excited for Griffins. I do think that the offhand will be particularly useful. While I don't see myself doing much chin hunting, when the time comes to stock up on chins, this will be one of those like roadmap things where I get this item to then get this item to get this item. Like it's typical Iron Man. So it's like, oh man, I gotta go catch chins. Well, gotta go get my Horn of Plenty now. And then I gotta do Slayer. You can probably kill them off task, I would assume. Hopefully they're smart and they change the drop rate of the horn to be way more common on task. I love when they do that, when there's a specific Slayer monster drop of creatures that you can kill off task. A good example is Araxites. You can get the Arania boots, but they're like stupid rare off task. And then on task, they're fairly common. Like you're not going to get them unless you're Nuke Moose. You're not going to get them multiple times during a task, but every once in a while, it's a little like sweet treat drop on the ground. Like, oh, 5 mil, yay. But off task, you can't just sit there. It's not viable to sit there and camp for like a 1 in 3K. So I'm hoping that they do that here and they make the horn and this other thing from the Shellbane Griffin, they make that. Oh, wait. That one's going to be task only. So you probably will be only kill that one on task anyway. But the Rapier and then there's another thing from Griffins. Or that's the Aquanites, never mind.
Honest to God.
The Rapier.
Just make this bitch a 1 in 512 across the board.
Really?
Yeah. Don't overcomplicate it. Just make it a 1 in 512 across the board. Maybe if you want to get crazy, make it a 1 in 600. It's a hunter passive skilling buff. Like, this is not a best in slot anything. It is, yeah. It consumes charge every 1 for 25 hunter catches. And you charge it with feathers. Like, this is a low level, accessible item. Don't make this like a stupid, like a fucking dragon harpoon level drop rate off task.
You got to think.
That's ridiculous.
For people who like use chins as a moneymaker, this is going to be the best in slot thing for like chin hunting. That's not even counting that there might be a decent moneymaker with hunter stuff like we talked about in the last episode we did. There's a ton of new hunter stuff coming out where crabs and like crab secondaries might be really, you know, a really good moneymaker. And having the horn, and you even said it yourself, this thing's going to be 10 mil. You said, quote me. I'm quoting you right now. It's going to be 10 mil. So
is that what I said?
I think you said something like that.
No, I said this thing's going to be dirt cheap. It's a Slayer item dropped by a level 51 Slayer monster. I would think at best this thing sits around 400k maybe at the highest. It could even sit lower than that. Because honestly, you want to know who's going to get the most use out of this? Bots. Exactly. So, oh no, yeah. My Chinchompa only Iron Man that I drop over and make money to my main is going to get devalued. It has to be really hard to get. No. 1 in 512. No. Match it up with every other Slayer item in the game and just call it good. Especially if these things don't have a lot of health. Like, they're level 51 wreck, dude. Like, other monsters at or around level 51 are like a joke to kill. You know? Yeah. There's Bloodvelds and Jellies, Naguas, Turoffs, all around that level, which, assuming you're not in the catacombs, they're just V-chill and not that serious. I don't think this should be a particularly difficult thing. Yeah, the new Antler Guard was 1 in 650. Like, yeah, around that drop rate feels fair, you know?
I still need to get that. I forgot that existed. Damn. Well, I think it's a good time to like switch gears and talk about the boss.
The boss I'm excited for. The boss is really cool.
Like, notably, it's a level 51 Slayer boss, which I think at this point, I feel
like
that's
level
the
Slayer
lowest
boss in the
level.
Game.
Yeah, lowest level Slayer boss. Assuming this can only be killed on task, that's going to be some good practice for those higher level bosses as you progress. The next highest level boss is Gargoyles. So they have a lot. Well, Yeah, they have a lot of ground to cover in the future with putting this one at 51 and then the next boss popping up at 75. And then it's like it's fairly common after that. But yeah, 51 is pretty low, which is great. This thing's gonna drop what I'm pretty excited to announce. I'm not announcing it, but this thing's gonna drop the stab equivalent to the zombie axe, which for you moons enjoyers gonna be mint.
It's pretty. I think the gleaming rapier is going to sit at a really nice spot. 65 attack, a nice accessible stab weapon, because right now your options are like regular sword, which sucks. Jewel of a Masket specifically for TOA, Hasta, Fang, Dragon Sword, if you somehow get that from Worms. Like, this is going to be the go-to stab weapon. Like, our groupies are a little spoiled. We have a Fang and a Rapier on our group. So
Of the
it's not,
Grazi prestation.
yeah, so it's not like we've been, starving for stab weapons on the group, but this is going to be a really nice, like, I'm not ready to go to Krill yet on like a regular Iron Man, or we've just gotten unlucky as a team at Krill. Like, this is going to be cool because Michael's right. It's going to be great at moons. Eclipse Moon is horrible, so this will be nice to have there. I think it's going to be, and it looks cool too. I'm a sword guy. And the more things that kind of look like this ornamental saber style, I'm a big fan. So I'm a big fan of the rapier, a big fan of what it looks like. It doesn't look like it has a special attack. Does it have a special attack? No, it doesn't. It's just what it says on the tin, mid-level stab weapon. Cool. And why I'm particularly excited for the Griffin is not that I'm excited for the Griffin at all, if that makes sense. I'm excited for the potential of what the Griffin means. You brought up a great point earlier. This is the lowest level Slayer boss at level 51 Slayer, with the next highest coming in at level 75. There's a 24 level gap between Slayer monsters, which is crazy. But that also means there is so much room for new content to come into the game. There is so much room for new bosses to take the stage and for monsters that we already know of that sit within that like 55 to 75 range to get a boss variant. Maybe we'll get a boss worm. Maybe we'll get a boss skeletal wyvern. Maybe we'll get a boss aberrant specter. Like, there's potential for something like that to come. Or there's also new Slayer monsters that come out with sailing.
Yeah.
Like, the potential of basically what this implies is awesome. And I'm a big fan of it,
Yeah,
big
there's
fan.
so much potential. And like you said, that's not even counting new creatures that they could cook up, because they're just like, shoehorning this in right in the middle of your Slayer journey. It's not to say that they couldn't slap another 2 or 3 between 51 and 75.
Yeah.
There's so much potential. Slayer is going to get so much more fun in the early game.
Now that they've set the precedent that Slayer bosses are not just these end game things, that Slayer bosses can, in fact, be enjoyed by lower levels. Ooh, we're going to be eating good. And it also just means probably more cool pets. Like, if you're an end game player like myself and you're like, I'm not going to use the rapier. What? Like, that's a lot of words. Fang, scythe. I'm not doing that. Pet's
going to be cool.
Another green log. It's a little baby griffin. Shellbane Griffin will also have a pet. We're looking to pull the general sailing pet. We thought it's worth mentioning here in case you're wondering why a griffin isn't in the lineup, because the griffin's getting its own pet, which is cool. So
yeah,
big fan.
Big fan. If it looks anything like this little concept art thing that they have, it's going to be sick. And I hope it's big. We'll get to pets and their chunkiness later, but I think
this thing's
that
a
this 5x5.
It's going to be a big, like, the boss itself is going to be pretty substantial, at 5x5. It's going to be cool.
I hope that they don't like over complicate the mechanics, because while most of the like newer stuff that's been coming out has kind of outshined a lot of the older content when it comes to like fun mechanics. For instance, I just did the Final Dawn like last week before I went on my trip. I finished that quest. Those fights were so fun. But as a new player, if I was looking at other, was it a master quest? It's not a grandmaster. The Final Dawn's definitely not grandmaster. But other quests in that tier, I would be very caught off guard with the fight mechanics that you have to do, like in that tier of quest. While they weren't incredibly difficult, and I didn't struggle with it. If I was a newer player, like, what the hell is this? Like, you're dodging fire on the ground. You have to step in specific areas. You have to click, move, attack, click, move, attack. Like, there's a lot going on. So I hope that they don't overcomplicate these Griffin mechanics to where it's a level 51, but it's harder than the gargoyles. Because let's be honest, like most of the higher level Slayer stuff is just easy. And we've talked a lot about this on the show. It's just easy because that's what the devs were cooking up, you know? At the time when the Kraken came out and when Thermi came out, there wasn't much going on. And so stand there, kill boss was kind of the idea. So I just don't want it to feel too out of place to be like, wow, I can't even start to think about killing this Shellbane Griffin until late mid game. When at 51 Slayer, you're probably maybe in the 60s, 70s attack, defense, strength. Like your combats are fairly low. And the target audience for this is somebody who has at least 65 attack for that new rapier. That's my worry, but I don't know. I'm pretty sure they'll do the right thing.
I'm gonna try to put your worries to rest, and I apologize if this feels condescending because I don't mean it to be. I would not worry that this boss is going to have difficult mechanics. It's a level 51 Slayer boss, and it's also a Slayer boss. The two most recent examples of Slayer bosses we have are Araxor. Is Araxor particularly complicated?
There's a learning curve. It's not complicated. It's not hard, but there's things you have to worry about mechanic wise that don't exist in other Slayer bosses.
I mean, that happens with every boss in the game, though. There are mechanics that exist in even the lowest of level bosses that don't exist anywhere else. I can't think of another boss that just can teleport around its gigantic arena and you can't find it until you finish like a fucking hard or elite diary. I can't think of another boss that the instance itself drains your prayer pot, and it took us 20 years to be able to implement something that finally negates that prayer drain after so long. Like,
sure,
every boss even at the lower levels have their unique mechanics, and I imagine the Griffin is going to have something that you're going to have to pay attention to.
It does mention the salivary glands. It says they're capable of delivering a corrosive spit.
Yeah, I mean, it might
have that
be
air.
Like, it might be area of effect. They might be pushing you back. Like, there might be. There's going to be a lot of things I'm sure that we're going to need to be concerned about. But what's the other boss that came out that has, on paper, a lot of mechanics to look out for? And if you're just explaining it to someone, can sound overwhelming.
Scurious.
Nope. Hydra.
Oh, you said just came out.
I mean, it is. It is the other Slayer boss that did just come out. We haven't had a Slayer boss in a really long time.
That's true.
We had
Araxor and Hydra, the two,
and then we've had Araxor. I think Araxor was 2024. Hydra was like 2019.
Yeah,
I believe. I don't know if there's any gaps in there that I'm missing, but Slayer bosses by nature are not hard. They can be frustrating because they have a learning curve, but I think that's every boss in the game has a learning curve. I remember getting real pissed off at Cerberus when I first started doing that content, just because, God, Cerberus was frustrating. Cerberus was a frustrating encounter when I first started doing it.
Yeah,
because I didn't really understand it, you know. But now I do, and it's truly not that bad. So
I don't understand Cerberus. I've never once gotten like the prayer change mechanic down. But I just haven't killed enough. I haven't killed enough Cerberus to even
with the prayers. You have to switch your prayer when you see the it's like Zulra's Jad phase, where the you have to switch your prayers when you see the animation. So like if it's melee, mage, range, as soon as the melee launches his attack, you switch to mage. As soon as the mage launches his attack, you switch to range.
Oh, because you're already praying for the first one.
Yep, but you have to be conscious of prayer drain, because if you don't have a spectral, it's going to cut 30 prayer points every time. And I think if it hits you, it deals like 30 damage, like flat 30 damage or something like that. Yeah. Vacant Void says it's a rhythm game, and quite literally, it is a rhythm game. He also brings up a really good point that mid to early level game, like these targeted bosses are accessible and kind of good to do early. Like they take you a little longer, and someone like me, like my opinion is skewed of a boss like Quakehodal. I think Quakehodal is probably going to take me way too long on my iron to kill. That's not correct. I have just only killed Quakehodal with a scythe, and I don't really have a good perception of how long it's going to take. So for me, I think Vacant Void is correct that this is going to be semi-efficient to do for low-level accounts, particularly Iron Men, like I know you're so concerned about. Not the Iron Men. I think we'll be okay.
Definitely. I'm excited for it. What's up next? Aqua Knights. You said these are in RS3? Have you seen them physically?
Nope. I saw them in a trailer or in somebody's video.
Nice.
So,
what do you know about Aqua Knights?
I know that they have a pretty cool drop that could dramatically alter how we use crossbows. And they literally say they're creatures some of you might be familiar with from RuneScape history. These amphibian horrors make their homes deep below the western and northern oceans, preying on any creature unwitting enough to stray into the damp caves in which they dwell. It seems like they're going to be outside of the Prith area, which will be fun to sail to. They will be their very own unlockable Slayer task, naturally high stats, but you'll be able to remove their advantages. We'll leave you to work out how, which means they'll probably have some sort of mitigation, like the mirror shield or something like that. Unique special mechanics. They're in the Fremi dungeon in RS3. Okay, thank you, Vacant Void. They require 78 Slayer. They require 86 Slayer in this game. Damn. 86 Slayer and 73 sailing. Damn.
They took that model and basically copied and pasted and just removed the textures.
They do look pretty bang on. I'm not gonna lie. They look pretty bang identical. On. They're right there. Same thing with the strike worms. Like the strike worms look damn near identical to what's in RS3.
Nice.
But I don't know what these things are gonna do. I've never fought them, obviously. But what they drop is far more like, holy shit. I don't want to say concerning, but interesting from a combat meta standpoint. And it's mainly from the question of the Aqua Knight Hopper is what they drop. They drop an offhand that has +1 range strength, so it's less DPS, but there's a 10% chance for a crossbow to fire twice, and it has 67% reduced damage, meaning is it only going to hit 33% of the original damage? Or is it going to hit 67% of the original damage? Somebody explain that to
question.
Me. And you know what? It answers my question immediately. Only one enchanted bolt can activate per attack. Never mind. Because my concern, I'm like, can you get double big naturals with this? That was the first thing I thought of.
And then a 67. Yeah.
Yeah. But nope, it's only going to be able to hit once. But that said, does it roll off the damage of the bolt proc? If you hit this thing with 100 or 110 from a ZCB and you get the double shot, does it just never fire on an enchanted bolt? Like only one enchanted bolt can activate per attack, but does that mean that you still won't get extra damage from the second shot?
Yeah, why wouldn't you? That's a great question, actually.
But what damage is it going to roll off of, right? That's the question. So if you hit 100, right? You hit 100 with a regular crossbow. We're not going to overcomplicate it with the ZCB. You hit 100, you get 1 re, but you also get that second bolt that comes out. Are you going to roll 67% of what your max hit would have been if you didn't get the bolt proc? Or are you going to roll anywhere between 33 and 67%? Because Michael and I really don't understand how they are wording this math. of the damage dealt, meaning you can hit between a 33 and a 67, making this like a necessary switch with a ZCB.
I have to imagine that they won't complicate it, because what, like, is there even an algorithm for like what your potential max hit would have been, or is it you proc and you get 100?
I have no
Because
idea.
it's always a percentage. It's like it's up to a certain point. It's based on the monster's health. So then that just seems very complicated. We're focusing on one bolt proc effect when there's things like the onyx bolts and the diamond bolts, and if you go back to one of the I think it was the last episode or episode before that, we talked about all the different bolt effects in the fun question. There's so many, and like the ruby bolt is the first one that comes to mind because it's a DPS effect. But like when you think about the diamond bolt, it probably won't hit through defenses on the second shot, but it'll still hit. It just won't, that second shot won't have the defense hitting. Or if it's an onyx bolt, that second bolt won't heal you. It'll still hit, but it won't heal you.
I mean, I know it won't heal, but or I know it won't hit through defense. It's purely a question about numbers. The reason we bring up the
Yeah.
Ruby Bolt is because it is the most substantial damage increase the crossbow offers.
Yeah.
It is the it's a big one, right? So it's really hard to ignore the potential of like, dude, if this thing's hitting 67% or 33%, because I genuinely don't know. The second bolt will have 67% reduced damage, accuracy, and enchanted bolt chance. Does that mean it goes from 100 to 67 or 100 to 33? Somebody please explain that to me. I know the second bolt's enchant effect cannot activate if the first bolt already activated it. That's fine. That's super cool. I'm just curious about how it rolls. Are they going to roll separately now? Who knows? Either way, though, this thing seems like a substantial increase in DPS, regardless of how hung up we are on the numbers. This thing does feel like a pretty substantial DPS increase. And they say it's not going to outclass the Twisted Buckler in the existing best in slot range option at the top end. But will it?
You know, they always say stuff like that. The devs never want to commit to being like, this is going to change the game. But there have been minor updates that have changed the game.
I mean,
so it's never going to be like, because like you can't take into account future content. You can't take into account like unforeseen metas that they didn't even themselves think about. You know, the obvious ones come to mind, the ZCB, but I don't know. There's a lot that goes into how this could affect the game.
I think this thing has potential to see use at the end game from what I'm seeing from it right now. If it is this much of a DPS increase, right? I think Vacant Void did the math. It's like 10% chance to do point or 67% of the original damage is like a 6.7 DPS increase. Is that correct? I don't know how to do math. But if that's correct, that's got to be better than what the DPS increase from a buckler is, right?
That's what I'm saying.
And depending on how this interacts, like this has to play somewhere. Even if it's something like Oath Plate, where Oath Plate is objectively and statistically not better than Torva. Like, yes, it has a higher like slash accuracy or whatever, but it isn't better than Torva in terms of raw strength bonus. Oath Plate is, however, best in slot at Theater of Blood, which is a dramatic change from an end game or from a late to end game boss. I would call it end game because I'm not very good at it, but obviously I know some people can hang with far less gear, you know? So it doesn't matter. Maybe I'm just bad. I'm washed. Who knows? So I think this thing will have a place in the end game.
I do too.
I don't know where. I mean,
well, from an Iron Man perspective, and which is generally where I go to with a lot of this stuff, because yeah, as a fresh main, it's available on the GE. If you've got the ducats, it's yours. But 86 Slayer, 73 Sailing, that's pretty far along in the journey. In terms of like unlocks, it took me a while to be able to get to the point where we had whips. So to say this is like a mid-game item I don't know. If you're an Iron Man and you're pushing Slayer, it might take you a while to get one of these. And by that time, who knows if you're still using crossbows? Because like, I don't know. We had a Bofa pretty early, but there's other stronger bows for different content. Like I stopped using the crossbow as soon as I got a Bofa.
But that doesn't make like just because the Bofa outshines crossbows in some places doesn't mean that crossbows aren't utilized ever. Right? Like I think of it like yes, the ZCB comes to mind, and this is where it's gonna make the impact in the end game. Like you're absolutely right. If you're maining the Bofa everywhere you go, or you're doing wilderness content maining the crossbow, or you have a T-bow and you're trying to do chambers and your second best option is a dragon crossbow. Yeah, 100%. It's going to get outshined, but where I mainly discuss like is this going to be an end game item that sits kind of early in the tree? It feels like because they literally say it's particularly for mid-game accounts where defensive capabilities of a shield aren't required, right? Like they say this is for mid-level accounts.
Yeah.
But will this still have an impact where the best crossbow in the game really shines at places like Nex, at places like TOA, at places like, which I guess is, it does further the question of what these bolt procs are going to do, because the ZCB is, it's like a speed run tack, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
is this going to make something like Dragon Hunter crossbow Vorkath the new best way to kill it? Or is it going to make Dragon Hunter crossbow Olm on not on par with the T-bow, but better than Bofa for head phase? Like, who knows what kind of DPS increase this is going to have? So I think you're correct that it's a very high requirement for accounts that by the time they get there with 86 Slayer, 73 sailing, and probably mid-level combat stats, like it only requires 60 range to wield. Like they do not have Iron Men in mind while making this item, you know, unlike the blowpipes, like they do not have Iron Men in mind when making this item. I think you're right. This is going to sit at a really weird place where like, you know, use this at like where you're at, for example, you're not going to use this, you know, unless you have like a weird crossbow only task or you're trying to like train range at crab, maybe, you know?
Yeah.
But
like it'll increase DPS. That's like, that is what we know. But again, I mean, going back to the point about the high Slayer requirement, the Abyssal Whip is a mid-game item. In most cases, you get 60, 65 attack, I think it is, and you buy a whip as a main. It's a mid-game item, but you need 80
attack.
Is it 70? You need whatever level it is. You get the whip as soon as you can get it, regardless of the Slayer, or regardless of what Slayer level you have as a main account. It's 70 attack, you got it. And maybe you're only like 30 Slayer. But as an Iron, you know, you have to like make do without these items and then use them later. I don't know. It's one of those things, like they could have had a lower Slayer requirement in my mind. Like, here's what I'm thinking. Swap
you don't want my thoughts. You don't want my follow up.
Well, you're just gonna be like, fuck that, and don't, you know, fuck them is what you're gonna say. But to me,
I'm gonna say you could have had a lower Slayer level. You could have not put the fucking gray helm on. This game is not designed to be catered to Iron Men.
No, I'm saying this item, if their intention was to have it be a mid-game item, main or not, it's 86 Slayer feels like really high. If their intention was for it to be a mid-game item, they could have put this at 51 Slayer and made Griffins a little bit stronger and put them at 86 and swapped them. I don't know what the meta is or what you get in RS3. It's 78 Slayer in RS3, but to me, it seems I don't know. We'll see what happens.
This is where I think you're too iron brained. You're so iron brained that you don't recognize that. Sorry, players who can utilize the Grand Exchange are also in the mid game. PKers are main accounts who are in the mid game trying to build very specific mid game style accounts, right? Players who, you know, just regular old mains who are looking up good gear progression, who can't afford a Twisted Buckler, but they can afford this are going to use this if they're using a crossbow because maybe they can't afford a Bofa. You don't need a Slayer requirement to wield it. There are very few items in the game that actually do require a Slayer level to wield and equip, I'm pretty sure, that are non-Slayer specific. And to my knowledge, none of the drops require one. If that were the case, the Dragon Hunter Lance would be either absolutely dead content or 300 mil because you need to be it's a 95 Slayer rec for the DPS increase, right? Like, I understand you're thinking about it from the perspective of like, oh, what is a mid-game Iron Man gonna do? How are they gonna utilize this item? They're not. They're gonna get their Bofa, and they're gonna go for this item when they start pushing the ZCB. But mid-game accounts who are using Dragon Crossbows to get through their first couple of chambers, their first couple of TOAs, their first couple of like little baby group next runs that they do, or Kriara, right? If you're trying to make money, or Zilliana, if you're trying to make a little bit of money, like this item has a very extensive use pre-Twisted Buckler, I would think. Just not for you stinky gray helms. I don't know what to tell you. That's the way I see it. When I look at an update like this, like, yes, it's not accessible to low-level Iron Men. No, that's not the point of the game. The game is meant to be played as a main. That's how they should design things. And then you chose the restriction. That's how you need to. That's the fun of the game mode. You chose the restriction, and as such, you need to figure out a way to work it, you know? Yeah. Like, I don't know. I think this item sits fine unless it is truly like an end game item. Then it's going to be kind of expensive to buy, which maybe it's not going to be end game because it comes from a regular Slayer monster, you know? Who knows? Because of the fact that this is only an 86 Slayer level requirement monster, do monsters even drop anything useful that aren't bosses? Arania boots at around that level, the trident at around that level, the whip, the occult. Well, the occult's weird though. The occult is a strange example. Like, the occult's not a fair example.
Yeah, other than those three, I don't think so. Yeah. Dark Beast dropped the dark bow, but that's not anywhere near useful these days.
Sorry, Nate. It's just not.
Alrighty, well, we have a couple more of these Slayer monsters to get through. Lava Strike Worms. Such a cool name. And they look sick as hell,
pretty cool.
Too.
They do look pretty cool. I'm not going to lie.
I'm going to look up the RS3 one while you talk about it.
I'm going to blow your mind when I tell you they look almost identical. I accidentally ran into Jungle Strike Worms, and they look pretty identical to what these things are.
Oh, sick.
They're pretty cool. The main thing is they're going to drop the dragon sheets, which are going to be used in ship upgrades, probably at a lower rate than frost dragons. So it's going to take a little bit longer to get them from strike worms than it is frost dragons. But they'll also drop the bones, and there will be a superior variant that looks almost identical, just with some extra little spiky things. And the strike worm bones are just going to be a way to train prayer. 60 XP when buried. How much do dragon bones offer when buried? They give 72 prayer when buried. So
wow.
I got a level with you. Why? Like,
well, honestly, I think this is just another creature that you can kill on a worms task. That's relevant.
Oh, it is included under a worms task. Would you look at that?
Yeah. So it'll make worms more fun with the fact that the dragon sheets are going to be useful in sailing. So you'll have a reason I don't know what worm bones give you, but
it's just prayer training.
Like the how many prayer XP?
They're between worm and dragon, according to the
blog. Yeah, worms are 50. Okay. Yeah, they're right in the middle.
Hot dog, you can't beat it. Sometimes you can't beat it.
But at 62 Slayer, they're not going to be that tough. And apparently you need 60 sailing to get to the island where these are located.
We explored this island in the beta, didn't we?
Charred Island? I don't think so.
I think we did.
At least I did. Because you couldn't get to 60 sailing in the beta.
It didn't take 60 sailing to get there. It was just like available for you to go explore.
Oh.
Because remember, it was the lava island with all the other Slayer monsters and shit in there.
Are you talking about the second beta? or the open beta that they did. Yeah,
Not the one
I
we
didn't
played at
really-
RuneFest. The other
I
one.
I didn't do much in the second beta, if I'm being honest.
I remember going to this island and I remember thinking it's got potential. Potentially they could put a boss here. But it seems they've put something else there instead.
So is it just going to be the head? Is that what I'm looking at? There's like a hole in the ground and these are going to pop out.
Yep.
Interesting.
It's full stop. Yep. I'm just going to kind of like going to be here and then they're going to slide out like that and then they're going to attack you and then they're going to die. They're probably going to and they're going to fade away. If I was a betting man, that's how it's going to work.
Okay. No other like fun stuff other than the dragon sheet. Okay.
Do we think the dragon sheets, they're only going to be obtainable from strike worms and frost dragons though, which is the next monster?
Surely not. They don't go into detail, like specifically breaking down what the sheets are and like extensive lists of where they come from. They're just mentioning it here for its use in shipbuilding and these two monsters drop it. If it's just these two monsters, that's going to suck. Like if they don't add some sort of dragon sheet drop rate to other like maybe even regular worms, or maybe they add them to KBD or other relevant dragons. Because I mean, the next island where these frost dragons are, you need 87 sailing to get there. There's no slayer requirement, which is great, but frost dragons seem kind of niche. And if you have to like go out of your way to kill the frost dragons to get the sheets as an iron, you can buy them on the main. That's fine. It could be good money.
But they're going to be super expensive because they do talk about the dragon sheets in the blog that came out. That I think we did an episode from August 2nd. We took a couple minutes there to figure it out because I felt like I was going insane trying to find it. But they talk about it in the smithing portion of the resources and skilling activities blog they released.
Gotcha.
And the dragon sheets are used to create the dragon keel parts and thus upgrade presumably like the armor and potentially the hit points of your ship. And it requires 94 smithing to make.
What?
So if I was a betting man, this is meant to be like, weirdly enough, an end game resource dropped from these monsters. And it means that strike worms and to a greater extent, the new frost dragons are gonna be money. Big money.
I mean, initially they will. I don't know, as these resources come into the game, they're not something that you have to replace a lot. So maybe they are. Maybe they will keep their value. But things that deplete generally have a more value because they're just going to stack up. You add it to your ship once and then you heal your ship another way. But if you have to keep adding sheets and they're like a depleting resource, then they're definitely going to be expensive. And maybe I'll retract my former statement of like they need to add this to other creatures, because that you make a good point. Like if you need such a high smithing level for it to be so common would feel kind of weird. You know what I mean? Like we're flooding the market with this very, very nice resource, but then very few people, I say very few. Smithing is not hard to train, but there's going to be less people that can actually use it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you're right. I think it does point to the glaring flaws of the smithing system in OSRS, because you're like, oh, we can't have these endgame materials flooding into the game. The first thing I thought to myself was like, everything drops rune bars. Like, rune bars are so accessible. But on the flip side, rune bars are consistently like 13K a piece, because of what they create. So maybe you're right. Maybe the dragon keel won't be super expensive, or the dragon sheet won't be super expensive long term, but they could stabilize into something that makes these things consistent money, because with their bones, they also are between dragon and hydra bones.
The frost dragons?
The frost dragon bones are between dragon and hydra bones, which means they're going to be really nice to sacrifice at an altar. Like,
oh yeah.
Like these things are going to be
per XP when buried. So then you got to think that's a lot if you're going to be using it. What that's like 700 XP on average if it's at the Wildy altar, because it's like 700% at the Wildy altar.
On average, yeah, it's going to be something like that. They're going to be
that's crazy.
A lot. you know?
It's 84 bone shards. So what is that in terms of libation pool? That's
doing
500
math.
XP. 504 XP guaranteed per bone at the libation pool.
Wow.
That's nutty.
It's pretty good. Can it be
Yeah.
more with the blessed whatevers?
I did it as a blessed. So if you're doing the blessed, so it's 84 shards times 5. Unblessed, it's 420 blazon. So it's still pretty good. Killing them is not going to be terrible hard. Terribly like killing dragons in this game is not terribly hard to begin with. But I'm assuming they don't mention it here. But I'm assuming fire spells, guys. It's going to be very weak to fire spells. Hopefully, that would make sense, right? Get up in there with fire surge, wreck them. If they're safe spottable, this is just going to be nutty.
I don't know if they'll be safe spottable, but you bring up a really good point that like this is going to be the new risk-free lava dragon.
Oh, true.
Like,
and it's
why
its own
bother
task.
killing lava dragons? But I doubt they need to be task only. Is the thing? If they're task only, that is fucked.
No, they're not. They're level 1 Slayer. But I'm saying if you blocked metal dragons, you can still get frost dragons as a task.
Yeah. They are level 1 Slayer, you're right. 87 sailing is the gate there. Unique drops, which like I'm excited for this because dragons do on the higher level historically drop pretty good alkables.
True.
You know? Like, yeah, green dragons, blue dragons, red dragons, even to an extent, black dragons don't drop great resources. Once you get into metal dragons, lava dragons, dragon bosses, draconic boss creatures, like that's pretty nice. I'm excited.
Gonna be good. Oh yeah, 87 sailing. I'll see you guys next year sometime killing these frost dragons.
I mean, do you really think it will take that long to get 87 sailing?
Brother, I'm only 87 farming. Granted, I don't train it very often and I could be higher. But like most of my stats, like I'm 87 thieving. 87 is not, it's like not, it's 4 million XP. So that's a lot. So
it
yeah,
is,
I mean, 4
it is a
million
lot.
XP.
You are correct.
So,
it is a lot.
Let me see. So if your average Slayer XP over the course of your training is, let's say, 75,000, because that's generous. That's 53 hours. That's not that bad, actually. But you're not going to get 75K on average the entire time. Your average is probably going to be closer to like 30K, which is near about a lot. I did times. It's near about 130 to 150 hours of sailing. I guess that's not that much.
Yeah, like
if
I
it's
feel
the
like
only thing I'm doing, I'll be there in a few months.
I feel like I think we've talked about before, right? Like sailing surely cannot be one of those skills that's like, hey, 20K an hour, like in the 80s. Like I think people will have a fit and will never get a new skill again, and rightfully so. You know, the J mods are not blind to the fact that we do not like our slow skills that do not offer anything rewarding. So unless sailing is just hella lucrative and it is slow, but you make so much money. I mean, like fuckloads of money. Because people are like, oh, well, you can make a lot of money mining if you mine like runite rocks. Like, yeah, I guess, but that's
10K XP per hour.
Yeah, like that's horrible.
Amethyst is a great example. You can make a buttload of money mining amethyst, but
amethyst is also
15 to 20K an hour is not a viable training method.
But that's I think it needs to be more money. Like amethyst is what, like at most 200 mil from 92 to 99, maybe less than that. It's probably less. I didn't mine amethyst ever. I couldn't tell you.
But like GP per hour wise, it's like 500K an hour or something stupid. It's really
I'm saying
low.
It probably needs to be like 3 or 4 mil an hour. Like it needs to compete up there if it's going to be that slow. You know, like if it's going to be slow, it's going to be worth it. And I doubt they're going to make a skill that much money, I guess. I doubt they're going to make a skill that much money off the rip. So it's probably going to be faster.
Yeah,
would be my guess. I would think anywhere between like 70 and 100K an hour, most at like peak efficiency, 60 and 80 with some like semi paying attention and maybe like a nice 40, 50K AFK. That's a great place for sailing to land.
Mint.
You know, I am concerned though that these drops are going to take a while to see circulate in the game. But who knows? I
Oh,
mean, like
yeah.
sailing is going to be exciting. Like I know you and I are only really going to train sailing when it comes out. You know,
Yeah.
my iron will be back at crab, sitting at crab again, like it's been forever. And I'll be training sailing on the main. Surely, I'm excited. These 5 new creatures, however many they're adding to the game. 4, I think. Yeah,
4 new.
Aquanites, Frost Dragons, Strike Worms, Griffins as the new boss.
And this is just what they propose now.
Yeah,
we're gonna see a shit ton of stuff once sailing is released, and they like drip feed us content.
Exactly. I'm excited. So they talk about a lot of other stuff in this blog. They talk about a lot of other logistics and a lot of other like, oh, what about bank spaces? What about total level worlds? What about max caves? I gotta be honest, Michael, I don't think we're the guys to talk about that. I think there are 2 important things that Michael and I need to touch on. The first and arguably most important of the 2 things is the sailing pet vote. Without thinking, what are you picking? You get one choice.
Option C.
Option C. Okay.
So they're on the screen now. Option C, the crab with the little hook. So cute. I think here's my thought out answer. It could be something as boring as like option A or B, where it's like the turtle or the pelican or whatever that is. It could be one of those. But what I would love to see is maybe a boring option like option A or B, but then some way to transmog into all of the other ones.
He said, fuck it, I want all of them.
I want all of them, bro. Like, how many transmogs are there in woodcutting? There's a shit ton. Like, we have a boring beaver, which is actually kind of cute, so not very boring. But then you can do like a fox. You can do whatever else. So many different colors of the beaver. There's a lot of different transmogs available. And even things like the tangle root. There's so many different options available there. So it would be so cool for them to go, okay, this is the base pet. But surprise, all the other options are available at some point. Somehow, you just have to get them as a transmog. But as a base like if we only get to pick one, I think I'm voting C. The turtle is a very, very close second. But I worry that it's going to be hard to translate a turtle into a pet that is supposed to follow you. Like the movement might just be weird.
And that's
land
what
turtle.
Thank you. That's what throws me off with option A. Is like turtles don't move that quickly. And they don't move that far. So while I'm thinking they'll be able to figure it out, like the turtle will just take like very large strides, you know?
Yeah.
Every time it walks on land, and it will follow like a walking pace like every other pet does. I feel like it's gonna look really out of place to watch this turtle like leap every time it has to take a step to follow you. I think the turtle pet is an excellent option. I really like option A. I really like it a lot. I think I have to agree with you that option C is the play, though. I think it is the perfect balance of specific to sailing without being too over the top. Because I really like option E as well. I'm a big option E fan, but something about it, the way it's currently iterated, maybe it's recency bias because I've spent so much goddamn time in this alternate reality. It looks kind of RS3-ish.
Yeah.
Like look up RS3 skilling pets and it kind of looks like
gives you that vibe.
Yeah.
I worry that option E with the little crab and the ship in the bottle, it's just going to be too small. Because examples of ships in a bottle are like a wine bottle that's not very big. Unless they like, unless they throw a curveball and they're like, yeah, this is a huge bottle. But again, shell crabs are not that big either. Versus like whatever version of the option C, it's a different type of crab. Okay, you just posted Bucky. Yeah, bro.
Okay, I'm sorry. Does it not look almost identical to that pet? Like,
yeah.
I really don't hate it. And I think there's a lot of potential for that pet. Like that pet is sailing. That pet really looks
Yes.
like this. Like, I think E is the sailing pet. I think
Absolutely.
it's too busy.
It's too busy and it's going to be too
Aesthetically,
small.
I think it's well, I mean, you
I
never
like
know.
them
They could
chunky.
this is again, it's a game with magic. They could make it any size they want. I would think this sailing pet, regardless of which one we get, other than the sea turtle, all of these pets will probably sit somewhere about the size of like Rocky, would be my guess.
Oh, wow.
With the only exception being the sea turtle, where the sea turtle could be bigger because like green sea turtles, leatherback sea turtles, they're large creatures. So the sea turtle could be like a whole tile wide and satisfy your need for a big pet. But I guess with all these pets in mind, we both really like option C. It's not too busy. It gets straight to the point. There have been crabs everywhere. Only thing I see as an issue with option C is we kind of skip out on the potential for a crab hunting pet in Hunter.
Oh,
So
that's very true.
it's like,
Unless they do the transmog thing where they give us option C and maybe it doesn't have a hook and then the transmog is a hook, or they give us option C with the hook, but then something you add like you add something and it gives us option E.
I mean,
who knows?
what I think, because I feel like I don't mean to backtrack on my own statements here. E is very busy, but I think E is the sailing pet. E is the pet that screams like it's literally a ship in the bottle.
In a bottle, right?
It's a ship in a bottle. It is the sailing pet.
Yeah.
I think there are so many options for these other four, particularly options A and C, to also come into the game. I want you to think for a second, right? Crab hunting, easy peasy. You get this pet from crab hunting just like you do the Chinchompa and every other hunter variant pet. Hunter doesn't have a pet. Hunter activities have pets. Perfect. Just like option C fits right there perfectly. Farming, on the other hand, has one pet for the entire skill. But if there were, say, a new patch with, say, a new type of resource to farm, perhaps it could warrant a new pet. Perhaps, if you are lucky as an expert coral farmer, the turtles that are around Tortuga that are non-sentient could want to just stay with you because you nurture such a good environment for them. You know, maybe the turtle could be a quest reward.
Ooh.
Maybe the turtle pet could be like the Brove or something, where like it's not really hard to get. It doesn't offer a lot of prestige, but it's like a Gertrude's cat. It's a Brove. It's a pet rock. It's something.
Gertrude's turtle.
Could be, I guess. I don't know. I mean, but like, okay, you say it, but that actually does have potential to be a quest. Like,
yeah, like you saved
that
the baby
really
turtles.
does. Yeah, that really does
from
have
the-
potential
yeah.
to like like you make a little nursery and you set it all up. And then like you can take like one little turtle, like one turtle instead of running towards the beach runs towards you, and you get a turtle as a pet. Like that's adorable, you know. Especially if the game is like, hey, the logic behind you having this turtle is the turtles in Gielinor are gigantic. Green sea turtles are like the size of blood velts, like they're huge creatures,
Yeah.
and the babies come out in like a normal Rocky pet size version, and then after the quest you get like a little turtle pet as like a little side quest. Like that right there, that's what option A needs to be. Option C needs to be a hunter reward from the new crab hunting activity. And I hate to say it because I know Michael's not going to be a fan. Perhaps option B could come from deep sea trawling.
Let me set the record straight. I don't hate all bird. I just don't like the heron. But I'm also not a huge fan of the bird options they give here in terms of it coming from B is fine. B is a pelican, sure.
That's
D?
a seagull.
Whatever, a seagull. A pelican has the big mouth. You're right. A seagull. D, though, while I love macaws, I think they are the most beautiful birds. They talk. Their feathers are gorgeous. Like, D feels like a wild card. Why is it coming from sailing? There's no precedence of anything with macaws other than the fact that, like, maybe they're the pirate bird. Maybe that's the bird that pirates use. But to me, yeah, B could be, I think you just posted another picture, What,
So
like seagulls just
I literally just looked up
spam?
trawler. I looked up trawler boat in action. Seabirds flock where there are an excess of fish, right?
Oh,
And a trawler boat is an excess of fish, obviously. So I think it
yes.
would make sense that while deep sea trawling, you could get yourself a seagull pet. Michael's right. The only one that's kind of out of place is option D. It's not bad. It's just kind of out of place. So who knows? XP wasters, think of an option for the macaw pet.
I would love the macaw if it just like the shoulder parrot. If it was like on your shoulder when you were standing, like think of the pet as you're walking. It flaps up and it flies, but then when you stand still, it like rests and sits on your shoulder. And then when you're charting the seas, it's sitting there on your shoulder. I would vote yes 100 million times over if they had that be the mechanic for the pet for option D. If when you're not moving and you're bank standing, it's sitting on your shoulder, and as soon as you get up, start running, it flaps right next to you. Because they've proven that they can make pets go faster. I think the Nextlink pet or whatever it's called, I think that is the only pet in the game that runs.
It was one of the first ones. The DT2 bosses might do that now too. I'm not sure. But that was a weird, obscure trivia fact for a while.
Yeah.
But I think all these options are beautiful. I think whoever designed these options, you are cooking. Whatever option we get is not going to be bad. I think I have changed my mind, and I think I am going to vote for option E, not to sway democracy or anything. I think I'm going to vote for option E because it is busy. It's the sailing pet. I'm sorry, like there are so many it's not even that the other ones are bad. It's just A, B, and C fit so well, like so specifically for other activities, but they're perfect, right? Option D is just sort of there, you know? A, B, and C fit perfectly for other activities that they've pitched, and option E feels like it's a ship in a bottle, you guys. Come on. That's pretty good. It's pretty good.
If they were to do a ship in the bottle, I think this would be personally the only acceptable way to pull it off. Because like I guess you could have a turtle where it balances on the back or something along those lines, but how are you going to incorporate a ship in a bottle to an animal? This is pretty good.
It's literally a little hermit crab. Like it's great. You know?
They've done it.
It's great. I think it'd be super cool. Full stop. That's what I want to see. That's my choice. The last thing, Michael, one thing before we send these folks off to break, one of the final things that they talk about here, the very last section says what this means for launch day and what's next for sailing. We've done the test. It's unlikely every single player in the world will be in boats at the same time. It'll be spread across Gielinor. People are comfortable. The JMods are comfortable. We're not going to get too laggy with it. They've optimized visibility. They're tightening up performance of the boats. But the very last paragraph, I believe, or the second to last paragraph, it says, this sailing load test has given us confidence that we're on course for a smooth launch. Your feedback highlighted areas where we can further improve the experience, and we're deeply grateful for that. Many of you have been asking whether we are still aiming for a late autumn release, and we are happy to confirm that development is on track and will be announcing the release date soon.
Bro,
sailing is coming in 2025.
2025.
And I got to level with you. I don't know if I had that on my bingo card. I don't know if sailing confirmed 2025 was on my bingo card. I'll be honest. I was expecting a potential delay like we talked about. We're like, if it gets delayed, it's probably fine. But
yeah,
they seem pretty confident with it. And I don't listen. I'm not trying to kiss Jagex's ass here. Like, the fact that the old school community has the ability to complain has helped us make such good updates for our game that do not detrimentally harm it in most ways. I've got faith that what we're putting out is going to be good. You know, I'm optimistic that if they have this much confidence in it, I don't have a reason to not be confident in it. You know, obviously, cautiously optimistic. We got to pay attention to how things are looking. You know, we have to be able to point out bugs and things we don't like as a community, but I'm optimistic.
I would agree. I think there's enough content that can come out initially at launch that it will keep us busy. I mean, the fact that we're getting an 87 Slayer requirement island right off the bat and frost dragons that no one's going to see for at least a day, maybe,
Mhm.
because like we said, XP rates can't be that good to where you can get 87 within
On
the
day
first
of
few
release
hours.
anyways,
Yeah. Unless there's going to be people who are, not sleeping, playing this game nonstop. So we'll probably see 87 within the first few days.
But without boosted XP, surely that can't be that quick, right?
No, 4 million XP. That's I don't think there's anything besides like darts and a couple of prayer training
Like
methods,
obscure
potentially.
construction training methods, like
like construction, prayer. You can just spam millions of XP
like
per hour.
smithing. And I think the thing that sailing, the disadvantage sailing is going to have, even if there is an absolute shitload of things that could give you really fast XP per hour, there's not going to be enough of them in the game.
True.
Right?
So like you're
it's not like Dragon
cannons.
Dart tips where they're expensive, but you'll always have them because people will always be able to buy you a GE buy limit. There will not be enough of them week of release for everyone to do that. There just won't be. And the bots won't even be programmed to fix them or to do anything with them. The bots won't be programmed to collect the resources because the code's not going to exist that botters are going to be able to make it that quickly. So I think week of, you're right, they have done a lot to keep the longevity of sailing well thought out,
At least until the next update comes out or the next like roadmap is released to say, here's our other plans for sailing. Because you know what, dude? 2026, it will be the year of sailing. Raids 4 probably will have something to do with sailing. We're going to get a league, probably maybe early 2026, early to mid. Maybe they'll push it off until fall to get back on that schedule. But 2026 will have sailing in a league. Like it will be the year of sailing.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of excited for that.
Me too. It's going to be good. I think we're looking pretty solid. So I guess before we send these people off to break, give me a date.
Oh,
when look at your calendar. When is sailing coming out? Make the prediction now so that when Jagex tells us this week, we look like dumbasses.
Oh, yeah.
When is it coming out, Michael?
Late autumn. I'm saying on record, November 19th.
You got to be shitting me. That's the same date I picked. November 19th. You've heard it here from the Xpwaste podcast. Sailing is coming out November 19th. As a prediction, do not take the day off of work yet. This is a prediction. November 19th. This is a prediction, a not confirmed prediction. God knows if we had enough contacts with JMods, we wouldn't look like fucking idiots all the time with these blogs. We don't have insider information. Telling you, November 19th is our predicted date. When sailing will release. It'll be right after Gridmaster.
Right after
which
Gridmaster.
Give people some time to sort of like gather your resources. Brace yourselves for the calm before the storm. Sailing will be here in November. I'm excited.
If not the 19th, definitely not the 26th. Unless they throw a huge curveball.
But it could be, right? They don't celebrate Thanksgiving over there. They could be.
That's what I'm saying. They could do it. But I would think the absolute latest, the 10th. December 10th is probably the absolute latest. So anytime between the 19th of November and the 10th of December. That's my date range. If it comes out during our bingo, I think I'll be very sad.
I don't think it's going to. Because I think while planning bingo, which, side note, by the way, if sailing comes out, we are going to be trying our best to put sailing content in there, but we can't put frost dragons on there because none of you are going to have 87 sailing. Or rather, enough of you won't have 87 sailing for us to be able to justify it. It's one of the reasons why the Ring of Endurance usually never makes it onto the board. Because I think we did the math a couple of years ago, and we have more people who sign up for bingo on average with Infernal Capes than have 92 agility. Yeah. So it's going to be tough to put like an 87 sailing rec on there. But hopefully we can integrate sailing into the bingo, because hopefully it will already have been out for about a month when bingo starts, and people will be able to do some fun stuff. Obviously, I hate to spoil a tile. If it's out and it's possible, you guys, we really want to put that rapier on the board.
Yeah.
We really want to put the rapier on the board.
And to
be fully transparent with you, we really want to put the rapier on the board. It's got a fair sailing level. It's got a fair slayer level. It's probably not going to be super hard to get.
And it's a boss.
And it is a boss. We're
Bro,
optimistic.
we could see all of these things potentially. The hopper, the horn of plenty, the rapier, a metal sheet, a dragon sheet potentially.
The 73 sailing throws me off a touch with the hopper, but I like where your head is at. We'll have to run the numbers. But good blog, good update. Excited.
Good blog, good update. That's going to do it for the sailing blog series that we've done. Thanks for sticking out the last 3 episodes around this subject. I'm glad we could tie a knot and put a little bow on this interesting subject here with all that we know now for sailing as it pertains to like skilling. What was the first one? I forgot what the first one was.
Mechanics.
I remember
I think
mechanics, skilling, and now combat and slayer. So get excited, folks. We still have some sailor haters out there, but guess what? It's optional. You don't have to train sailing, just like you don't have to train rune crafting. It's optional.
But alas, we have made it through the stormy seas of the blogs. Now we just have to sail on the foggy, calm waters of the unknown until land is finally ho. Just like your boy, a little bit of ho in him.
So dramatic.
And we get the sailing release date.
Yeah.
So ironically, I'm using an example. I'm using an example of us no longer being on a boat to signify us getting on boats. But you guys get my point. So, Michael, send these people the break.
Yeah. My co-host is so dramatic. Anyway, thank you for hanging out with us in this first half. Watch this commercial and come back around for the second half, where I promised a cat. But listen, my wife left with the cat, and I don't know when she'll be back. So maybe I'll put a little, maybe I'll insert a clip here of me showing you the cat during when I left.
She's so tiny.
I know, dude. Like, she fits in my hand.
Oh my God, she's so little. What a woman. What a woman.
She's feisty.
Hi,
you say hi?
Donut.
Meow. Meow. You say hi?
Rip the fabric off. Rip the fabric off the Shure MV7. I know you want to. Oh, she's so cute.
She's so cute. And there's my cat. So cute. Anyway, watch this commercial break.
Hey, how's it going? Name's Tony. Some people call me Fat Tony. I don't really know how I feel about that. But welcome to my pizza shop. This is Tony's Pizza Bases, located out here in the wilderness. I don't know how to feel about that, but it's kind of the hand you're dealt, you know? I can hear you asking me right now, Fat Tony, why are you out in the wilderness? Why are you out there? Well, I'm fleeing for my life, you know? I had to flee Misthalin. There's this nasty rumor about me that I poisoned old King Rold. There's no basis for that. So you come into my shop out here in the wilderness, what you gonna get? I got everything you need to make a pizza. Got your cheeses, got your tomatoes. Hey, and if you kill a rat out there, I'm sure you could probably find some meat for your pizza, but if you ain't into that, I don't know what to tell you. If you come out here, come out to the wilderness, I'll make you a pizza you write your mama about it. I know it's gonna be dangerous, right? I know that. But I'll tell you right now, it's worth the risk. Come and see Fat Tony. Come and see for yourself. Your time is valuable, and so is mine. I got some bandits to feed. They're getting kind of hungry. I'm gonna hit you with my tagline and close it out. Here we go. The name's Fat Tony. I'm an expert in pizzas, both the making and the eating. Oh, real quick before I go. If you're ever out in Drano Village, I got a cousin named Fortunato. Tell him Fat Tony said hey.
Welcome back. I hope you enjoyed that commercial break, because I know that I sure did. It's my turn to talk this week, and I'm going to talk a lot. We're going to start talking, and we're going to talk about patrons. Hello, patrons. Thank you so much for your support, specifically the Wise Old Man tier. Unlike my co-host, I do love you, and I do want to thank you. So thank you to our Wise Old Man tier. We don't have any new patrons this week in the Wise Old Man tier, so on the screen now is all of our current Wise Old Man patrons. And wow, aren't they lovely? All their names are there, and they're great. We thank you so much for your support. If you want to join the Wise Old Man tier, that's going to come with a really cool benefit called the recording booth. We didn't like reference the recording booth specifically a lot this episode, but if you're a listener of the show, maybe you've heard us before, you know we talk to those folks a lot, and they are one of my favorite benefits of having the way we do this show is having all these great folks to hang out with. It would not be Xpwaste for me without everyone that gets to join the booth. I think this show, I love you, Oxie, but I do think this show would be so much different without the input and the just having people here with us. I think it would be a lot different.
I believe you are correct.
Yeah. So thank you to our Wise Old Man tier patrons. You are amazing. Again, we love you so very, very much. I say we, but I might just mean me. Who knows? Moving on now to our KBD tier. This is the tier where we start to shout you guys out. And shout you out we will. Starting at the top, big thank you and big shout out to Two to Fly, Six Dicks Insider, Brooks70, Oxie's dad, my dad, all of our dad. What's up? Cloud Kicker, Crash Out Jack, Elite Oreo Dunker, Kieran, our third favorite Patreon supporter Ralph, Run Metal 15, Ryan M, Rylithian, Sparky Life, and the Big G Jordy. Thank you again so much to our KBD patrons. If I had to pick a tier that I loved second most, it would be the KBD tier.
Damn.
I'm kidding. I'm just kidding. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much for your support and enjoy your shout outs. Moving on to our last tier to shout out, and that is the Jad tier, as Oxie likes to call them, the big bad Jads. We're going to shout you guys out by name as well. Oxie's giving me a confused look. I'm trying to, rewrite the lore.
I was just saying,
if you were.
Do I call them that?
He does every single week. And this week is no different. We're calling them the big bad Jads because they are our biggest and baddest tier of folks. So shouting those folks out by name, big shout out and big thank you to Flood Day, Kyrandia, Mithril Fork, Petite River, Rainfalls Red, Soggy Waffles, the S tier Deviled Egg, Trying to Make My King Blush 666, and Woloznik. Thank you again to our Jad tier folks. If you signed up in this tier, one cool benefit that you do get besides the access to a recording booth and a shout out every single week is you'll get every 3 months that you're subscribed, you'll get a new piece of merch that is specific to the Jad tier. We have had folks that have almost been subscribed in the Jad tier for an entire year because I think we started it in November of last year, December maybe. So out there somewhere, someone's going to get their 4th shirt within the next couple months. So, we have a 5-star review from Kyrandia from the booth. She said, "Shirts are fire, epic." So take it from the Jad tier folks. They love the merch, and you will too if you join at that tier. If you want to join the Patreon at any tier, you can go to patreon.com/XPWaste and check out all that we have to offer. If you're part of the Party Pete tier, you'll get access to our monthly Patreon stream, as well as a backlog of hundreds of hours of content that we've had posted there since we started doing Patreon. So there is, if you're say you're caught up on Xpwaste and you want to listen through our backlog of all the extra episodes we did, they're all going to be there posted on Patreon. That is it for Patreon. Moving on now to the community question, where last week we asked you, how are you doing on your 2025 goals? Are you making progress? And if you're not, what's been your biggest roadblock? So I'm very interested to hear what y'all have to say. Starting on Spotify, Kieran says, as for the question, I have 2 goals for this year, getting my quest cape back and my fire cape back. Due to some very unfortunate circumstances, I lost access to my old OSRS account. Jagex support was unable to help, and no, it wasn't for breaking rules. So I lost about 2,000 hours of progress. I started a new account last month, and I think I'm on pace to do both of those things this year. Quest cape and fire cape. Hell yeah, brother. Sorry that you lost your account. That really actually does suck. Next up, Breeziker says, my goal for this year was to max my account. My total level right now is 2259. I'm scrambling to do what I can to beat the sailing release. I have rune crafting, farming, smithing, and Herblore left to complete. Luckily, brother, 3 out of 4 of those were really quick. So unless you're doing like slow ass rune crafting methods, you'll probably be able to get it. Farming, smithing, Herblore are all fairly quick to get done. Next up, Wingram says, I had set a soft goal for the diary cape without realizing how far off I actually was. Currently have half of them done, and I'm not looking to rush it. Game life balance and all that. It really is quite astounding when you look at the higher level requirements, the hours it does take for a diary cape. Like doing it slowly over time, probably the best thing to do. But like if you're probably mid game, base 80s, it's up there. Like there are some high level requirements on that list. Next up though, Ketone says, my goals hit a snag when I started my RS3 account and had to quest that. However, I should be back on track to achieve the quantifiable ones by year out, unless Gridmaster is a ton of fun. Damn, dude. For lack of a better phrase, you just got cock-blocked by RS3. Put that on your resume. Next up on Spotify, Ollie says, my 2025 goal was to finally get a quest cape. At this point, I only have Grandmaster quests left, but since I'm not the best at PVM, and I've got the attention span of a dog in a ball pit, it's been a real struggle. Do you have any tips for staying motivated through the grind or for tackling tough quests when PVM isn't your strong suit? You got it. That's all I could say. You got this. You got this. You're good. Still got a couple more months. Next up, Rummy Tumble says, made a huge progress on my quest cape goal, and I only have 3 left. Levy is actually gating me from progressing DT2, and I'm just procrastinating. I'm sure if I put in the time, it'll happen. That brings up a point, what the last guy said, and what I said earlier. Like, as you progress through the list, Grandmaster quests, Master quests, Experience quests, they'll have different skill levels based on when the quest came out. So it's really hard to say, but like DT2 is not for the faint of heart when it comes to those quest bosses. Next up on Spotify, Rambo's granddad says, base 70s and base 90s combat. No internet really killed that goal, but I got base 70s, still a ways away from 90 combat. No internet. That sucks. That really, I would hate that. Next up, Wiley2 all says, goals for the year. Max a few of those AF cable skilling skills. I've maxed woodcutting. I'm halfway through mining, but mining amethyst for profit instead of XP at shooting stars. Also crafting amethyst arrowheads and fletching arrows. I have 91 fishing, 94 cooking. Progress is being made. Hell yeah. This one isn't about the community question, but it's funny and I want to read it. Alex says, sorry, I think I need to go back to school to improve my grammar and punctuation. Before I comment again, it's definitely not my strong suit. He says, before I go back to school and comment again, since last commenting, I was spooning Zenites and also managed to get 3 synapses and 400 KC, but only have 2 due to a group storage glitch that took 1 of them. Damn, hate that. Sorry about that, Alex. Next up, Fizzman15 says, goals have been ticking along nicely. Past month had huge progress to base 90s and 2150 total. I just need 3 rune crafting and 3 smithing levels, then 2 others. And I back myself to get 750 clogs, which is at 660 now. Main blocker has been chasing the quiver. I've had over 100 attempts in March that got me 2 soul tries and the Sunfire legs, and I've seen 2 souls since, but haven't been able to clinch it. Got lucky with a beaver and a fox, so hopefully I can pull 1 more pet for a stretch goal. Next up, Damnation says, I'm doing poorly on my goal to convince you two that there is not a second L in Ixthlarlin's Nah, but for real.
Ixthlarlin, I believe. Ixthlarlin.
I don't think we're ever going to say it correctly. Ixthlarlin? Sure. It says, nah, but for real, my actual goal of achievement diary completion is going along swimmingly. I expect to be done before the madness of Wintingo. Hell yeah. Next up, Sean says, Moist Sean that is, it's a pipe dream, but I'd love to get my quest cape, hard achievement diaries, and base 75s, and 1 Zulrah kill done. That'll happen with work and school schedule, but one can try. Also, what is a check poppant? Oxie?
A what? Man, the check popping. Okay, listen. It was late, and I love the fact that Nate even called me out in the Xpwaste chat. He's like, you're like, funny enough, Nate, I'm not the one who did that. And Nate was like, I know, but I also know Oxie does not give a shit about changing the name. And I'm like, you know what, Nate? You're right. I don't. Because
So good.
it was so late when I uploaded that episode. It's been a hot minute since I have done an episode. And when you save it all till Wednesday night, you can get it done from 8 to 1. It's just time consuming, you know? But hey, we got it done. And there's only one typo to my current knowledge in the title or description. So don't go looking for any more and assume I am great and we'll be good to go. How about that?
Love it. But it's not changing. I think it's funny. For those of you who like are watching this, at least last week's episode, like years in the future, just know it was intentional. Next up, though, Fumbles Iron? Fumbles Iron?
Fumbles Iron, probably Fumble Swing.
Oh, Fumbles Brian says, I cannot remember what my goals exactly were, but I've been playing regularly again, and I'm almost base 70s in skills, and I own a Bofa to destroy Jad. Let's go. You get Fire Cape this year. You could do it. One Tick Beers here says, I got the Elite Cape. Might go for base 90s now. And Barrow's Green Log. Ooh, that's a cool goal. I think I've had that like in the back of my mind for so long, for so many years on so many accounts. I'm like, it'd be cool to Green Log Barrows. But then I just don't have any motivation to go to Barrows when I think as a group, we have at least one of every piece available.
Yeah, we
it's
really
like
do.
if I need a piece, somebody has one. I don't have to go get it. So kind of makes it a null goal. Next up, Xanthian says, hit 2200 total, and I made it to wave 58 Inferno. Colo was much easier and enjoyable. Cough, cough. Little wink there for you, Oxie. Colo was much easier and enjoyable.
I wouldn't know.
Me neither. Next up, Birdfan Mac says, new 2025 goal. Get the quiver. Doesn't matter if I get it in 2025 or 2045. It will be before Oxie. Damn. Called you out. You're not phasing Oxie, guys.
Literally not at all.
Not in the
slightest. Not one bit.
Suppresso says, I just got my first Fire Cape a week ago, and I'm still riding that wave. Feels good. The rest of the year, I want to do all the hard diaries and to have only Grandmaster Quest uncompleted. Perhaps I'll get my Quest Cape on Christmas. Sick.
That would be fun. A little Christmas Quest Cape.
Let's go. Got a couple more here. Dinosaur says, one of my goals this year was to get a second Infernal Cape, and I did that. Then I went and did 8 more capes over the course of that same week. Now I'm burning through Slayer points, hunting for the Nibbler pet. I low-key got a kind of addicted to Inferno on task, and it's actually really fun. Here's to hoping I have a funny feeling like I'm being followed soon. Nice. And finally, on Spotify, Waylaser says, I had a simple goal of maxing before sailing and get Master Combat achievements. Right now, I'm 155 hours from max, currently 2251 total, and 44 points away from Master Tier. As a bonus, I got the Ward Kit, Fang Kit, Blorva, learned Tob and Cox, and got a free-for-all Scythe. I'm 126 new clogs and got a new name, TNL Learner. Thanks to Oxie for throwing shade on me at Tob at the Tob Learner event. He says, I was Sutulu before.
I was to say, I know. But listen, it's just a little jarring when someone who is like objectively way better than you has 0 Tob Casey. Like, I'm pretty sure he showed up with like new Blorva or some shit like that.
Yeah.
Or like a new quiver or something. And I was like, yeah, okay. Like, who's the learner? And he's like, I am. I'm like, no, you're not. And he had 4 KC. I'm like, I like, he's a solo content enjoyer. But
yeah, it's fun. It's real. It's like seeing his journey over the years has been very, very fun. And I'm glad he's getting into like the raids and the team content and stuff. But TNL Learner is such a funny name. That's going to do it on Spotify, though. Moving over to YouTube, where we asked you the same question. How are you doing on your 2025 goals? Are you making progress? If not, what's been your biggest roadblock? Sarah Doman 992 says, my goals are doing well so far. Max combats achieved. Now, to get the achievement cape, 91 runecrafting, 91 fishing, 91 thieving left. Oh, as a little added side note there, Sarah Doman, you don't actually have to get 91 runecrafting. You can +5 boost. But the other two, 91 fishing, that's with a +5 boost, and you have to get 91 thieving. Anyway, and base 90s. So all that stuff plus base 90s. 200k XP per day, every day till New Year's, will guarantee I hit it. Unfortunately, that includes 2.4 mil of runecrafting, all while enjoying some clogging and CA hunting along the way. Question for Oxie. What's the difference between the 3 types of fencing you talk about? I'm too lazy to Google it, and this guarantees we get fencing content.
So the weapon that I mainly talk about here on the show is Saber. It is a right-of-way weapon, which pretty much is offense, defense, where only one person can get the touch, is the easy way to explain that. Saber is a slashing weapon based off of old cavalry fighting. Back in the day when cavalry fighting was common, it was considered dishonorable to attack the horse because war horses were very expensive. And as such, the target area is the saddle line up. So pretty much anything above the waist hit on the conductive material other than the top of your blade hand and your exposed offhand. Everything else is target area for you to hit in Saber. The other kind is foil. Michael is actively walking away from this conversation because he's heard it a million times. What a man. Foil is a tip control weapon based off of an old training sword. Foil is often called the art of the kill shot because you are aiming primarily for the vital organs in the neck and chest area, going for like the lungs and the heart, things like that. It's an old training sword, very competitive in Michigan. I think it's kind of stinky, but that's not to say that it's not a very competitive weapon. I'm just not that good at it. Foil is also a right-of-way weapon, so offense, defense. Then finally, there's epee. If foil is art, saber is theater, and epee is truth. Epee, the entire body is target, based off the old gentleman's game, first to draw blood wins. It's a tip control weapon. There is no right-of-way, and anything, the body, the arm, the hand, the head, even the toes are all target area in epee. So they're all uniquely different, and they all happen generally at the exact same time. Or not the exact same time, but within the same event during fencing. At least that's how it happens at my club. So yeah, those are the 3 weapons.
Very nice. Very, very nice. We got our fencing content, guys. Moving on with the community question here. Spencer D says, I already finished 6 out of my 9 goals, but there's no way I get hard CAs by the end of the year. I want to challenge you, Spencer. Hard CAs are very, very obtainable within the next few months. Like, I don't know what the threshold of points is now that more CAs have come into the game, but I have the hard tier completed, and it looks like I'm a third of the way to elites, and I have 595 points. So I think you can do it. There are some really easy raid CAs that you just have to like basically do the raid, and you can get them. So if you have any questions or you want to run some CA raids, hit us up in TNL. We'll help you out. Moving on, Schmidt Stain says, not great. How you doing? Not great. Having a baby is definitely XP waste, but I have farmed over max cash just in Snapdragons. Holy
damn.
Schmidt Stain, dude. What? That's crazy. That's bonkers. Wow. Okay. That threw me off. This just proves I don't read these before we actually read them on the show. Holy cow. Wow. Moving on though, Eli says, I still don't have my fire cape or Sins of the Father done. I'm going to level with y'all. I tried my first I'm going to level with y'all. I love that. I'm going to level with y'all. I tried my first ever fire cape and got my shit kicked in by Run Energy. 0 on bats. Oh, damn. And Jad Hands. And Jad Hands. I'm in love with Iron Man mode. GPscape scares the crap out of me because most of the time, the most efficient path is just work an extra hour of overtime and buy 5 bonds, which doesn't feel good. So off to grind out herb lore for staminas, I guess? Can you do the fight caves in graceful? Okay, Eli, here's what you're going to do. First of all, you're going to right click tag all on those shitty little bats. And as soon as the wave starts, kill them. I don't care what's on the field, kill the bats. You're going to see them from a mile away. That's the first thing. Second of all, Jad hands, they get everyone. So what I want you to do is Google, look on YouTube, find a guide, look up the quest speed run Jad practice method and do it 10 to 20 times. I don't care if it takes you all afternoon, kill Jad 10 to 20 times on the quest speed run world, and that will help your Jad hands, okay? You'll get your fire cape, and you're not taking graceful or stamina potions into fight capes. You don't need to.
You shouldn't need to, honestly. Just
kill the bats.
Not even kill the bats, just utilize the safe spot.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
Use the
If you're
Dragon
running around
Rock
so
or Italy
much-
Rock safe spot. Yeah, if you're sprinting that much, why are we running in the fight caves if you're not going for a speed time to begin with? If you're going for a speed time, yeah, take a stamina or two, but just kill the boss.
Utilize your safe spots. Don't focus on killing the bats. And as I'm saying this, I'm remembering bats don't actually drain your run energy like I thought they did. They drain your prayer. So I don't know, man. You got this. Go practice Jad in the simulator, which is the quest speedrun world. We got a couple more here to get through. Next up, Adobe Cult says, I got 2 out of the 3 big goals done. Fire cape acquired and base 80 combat stats achieved. Now I need to stop being lazy and finally get at least 1 Grandmaster quest done. Jagex is making this slightly harder by distracting me with leagues and Gridmaster. The big question is, should it be Monkey Madness or Song of the Elves? Well, if you want an easy Grandmaster, go with Monkey Madness 2. If you want an interesting Grandmaster that unlocks really fun content, go with Song of the Elves. It's a toss-up, honestly. Because Song of the Elves, you're going to get access to Prif, which opens a whole new world of training, whether you want to go to Prifness Agility, you want to do some fun mining trip methods, or if you want to challenge yourself, try and kill the gauntlet. So a lot of fun stuff there. Monkey Madness, I mean, you get access to Zenites, but other than that, I would say Song of the Elves is a more interesting choice when it comes to Grandmaster. Next up, Melvin Man says, as a believer in the under-promise, over-deliver approach, I knocked out my major goal by February, then came up with new ones. Hell yeah. Highlights include a max POH, a quest point cape, hard diaries, Royal Titan prayers, a whip, a trident, and participating in Springo. It was good to have a mix of both fixed and RNG dependent goals because dry streaks happen. Looking at you, Basilisk's Jaw. Some goals still sit on the horizon are a BGS, 2K total, and any raid purple in my name. Honestly, dude, I've seen you play, and I think all 3 of those are achievable by the end of the year. It just takes time. So get in there. Melvin Man is also an Iron Man, so that makes it a little bit more difficult when it comes to those RNG dependent stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Iron Panda is up next, and they say max cape done before sailing. That is their goal. Now, learning Zulrah for a good goal of the beginning of my boss journey. Hell yeah. Zulrah is a good one to get into because it's just hard enough that it's frustrating, but once you understand the mechanics, it becomes nearly brain dead, but you're going to learn a lot of interesting mechanics to help you with your other bossing goals. So good on you. Next up, Shadow Zinc says, my goal was to max my main. I just need another 200,000 Slayer XP. The biggest roadblock has been keeping motivated on these slower skills. Unsure on future goals, but maybe time for an Iron Man. Yes. Always an Iron Man. That's always the goal after maxing is to start an Iron Man. Next up, J-Bat says, my goals are base 70s and medium diaries. I'm almost a 1,600 total now, and it could happen by the end of the year. I'm not going to beat myself up over it if I don't make it. And finally, on YouTube, Devin Cowan says, my goals were 99 rune crafting and 2175 total. I just crossed 95, so we still have a ways to go. After how much Oxie bitched about it pre-max, I just wanted to get it done. I surprisingly enjoy running Bloods and Wraths, and it's building up the Iron Man runes and bank value, which is always great. Also, it might be in the minority here, but I don't mind episodes without a focus. Just hearing you guys talk about what you're doing in the game or IRL, or what your week-to-week goals are, and what you've done over the past week is honestly enough for me. Love from Newfoundland. Thank you, Devin. Appreciate that. I think we got a bit of feedback on Spotify that I didn't read that was like, this episode was fine. Like, most of the people just like disassociate and have us on the second monitor anyway. So if we're just rambling every once in a while, it's not the worst. So that's going to do it for the community question. I have talked a metric shit ton just now. So I will leave you with this. Thank you so much for answering that question. If you want to answer this week's question, it will be, if you could choose to be reincarnated as one of the 4 monsters that we talked about today, Strikeworm, Griffin, Frost Dragon, or Griffin, I think those, Aquanite. Sorry, Aquanite's the last one. What would you choose and why? Let us know in the comment section on Spotify or under the pinned comment of this YouTube video. Throwing it on over now to Oxie for achievement of the week.
It is. That sounded very auto-tuned, but it is achievement of the week time, folks. It is achievement of the week. I've been solving a murder mystery while doing community question and just listening into my dear co-host there. But it's time to do it. It's time to do achievement of the week. We're going to kick things off in the combat category this week, just for laughs. We have a couple of firsts this week, and by couple I mean one. Iron Dice killed Zulrah for the first time. Hell yeah. Moving on over now to the combat achievements portion of the combat achievements section of achievement of the week. I used to have such a nice ring, and I don't know what happened to it. Anyways, Casting Couch completed the elite combat achievements, while our dear TNL learner achieved master combat achievements. GZ, my friends. Additionally, Chips FE got his solo Missouri kit, and Narad21 achieved Blorva. He's now a Blorva enjoyer. Love to see it. Moving on over to the skilling category this week, we do have some 99s. A new name that I have not seen that I like quite a bit, at least I don't think I've seen it. 12 Bar Jumbie achieved 99 strength. KCT achieved 99 woodcutting. Buck226, who I actually ran into at Crab earlier, achieved 99 fire making. He immediately asked me about my quiver, and I tried to ban him from private chat or from public chat, and it didn't work. Flame of Udun achieved 99 hit points. Saradomin 992 achieved 99 strength and 99 defense. Trillin achieved 99 farming. Rejected Wish achieved 99 hit points and 99 attack. MFAM Nasty achieved 99 strength. And then sometimes a name pops up and you're like, good. I ain't seen that name in a long time. We finally got a check-in from the Road to Max 2 Electric Boogaloo. And For Vitney has achieved a 99 smithing.
Let's go!
Congratulations. Additionally, though, Koi Angel achieved 2K total level, and our friend Furry Wall coming back again with 2 billion total XP.
With a B.
2 billion XP. I think on my main, I have less than 500 million. Yeah, it's a lot. It's a crazy amount of XP. Finally, wrapping us up in the miscellaneous category this week, we got some weird ones. Trillin with the double-double this week achieved a diary cape, normal so far. Leo DiCaprio hit 1,000 Slayer tasks, something we don't usually shout out, but I thought it was interesting because I also waited to get 1,000 tasks and then start tutorial skipping. Not Hyla. New name. Welcome home, Hyla. He achieved 1,200 collection log slots and got himself the dragon collection log stick thing, which is crazy awesome. And then some more miscellaneous things. Rain Falls Red achieved 99 house by purchasing an IRL house. And then in the same message, stating that training construction in old school RuneScape is expensive. Il mio fratello in Cristo, my brother in Christ. You bought a house. I don't understand.
What are you?
In any
poor?
You can't say that about IRL money. Come on.
No.
Also,
I think he said he's like 38 construction in game or something.
Yeah, it is.
Brother.
He does have a very low construction level. You can like quest your way to higher construction, surely.
Just do Wintertod. It's free.
Honest to God. Yeah, it is free. Dude, that's it. You don't get Wintertod. You're sentenced to 200 games of fishing trawler to train your construction. And then finally, Rambo's granddad. He has 2 potential achievements. He said he got another pet today. So he showed what is either a pregnancy test for his second child or a COVID test. I got to keep it a buck with you. I couldn't tell you the difference if you showed them to me. So while I assume Rambo's granddad probably is having another kid, might also have COVID. You know?
Porque no los dos.
Add him and make sure he's okay. Ask him how COVID's doing. That's such a stupid call out. But that is Achievement of the Week, folks. If you did something awesome and you want to tell us about it, head over to discord.gg/OSRSTNL. Post about it in the Levels and Achievements channel, and we will be sure to shout you guys out for our shout out worthy achievements. That sounds so mean, but there are some things that we don't shout out, but that doesn't mean we don't want to see them. People have been posting a lot. A big one that I always see is the progress people make with the Desert Treasure 2 bosses. People post quite a bit about quest completions and things of the lot, completed collection logs, Forsaken V's ever-growing stack of soul runes, Go check us out. We are objectively the best RuneScape Discord in the world. And by the rings, the Sunday Raiders are back. Order has been restored. Come hang out. We would love to have you guys here. Now, normally, on any other podcast, this is where we would call the show because we're done. But we're not any other podcast. We're the Xpwaste podcast, which means I have to ask, Michael, my friend, do you have a fun question for us to take us home?
I do. This one's actually kind of funny. So we're going to do this one this week, and then there's one from Fizzman that we can do next week. But Vacant Void, off the dome, came in today with a fun question and asks, what would be the worst team's fans for Michael to intentionally antagonize into attacking him with his sports spectating behavior? Damn. I think right off the bat, it probably has to just be a hockey team because hockey is, it's notoriously a very violent sport. And so you have a violent sport and people who enjoy hockey because of the violence. I say violence, it gets rough. It's not violent. It's rough. So you take a hockey fan who's already kind of like, on a high from all the violence and roughage, and you antagonize them, they're probably not going to end well. Probably not going to end well. But to be able to call out a specific team, I have no idea. Maybe a Canadian team because they're real serious about their hockey. Who knows, dude?
Michael doesn't know hockey teams.
I know one, and it's the Columbus Blue Jackets or something.
Is that a real team? The Columbus Blue Jackets? I've never heard of that team.
The Columbus something.
It is an ice hockey team. Look at that. It is an NHL team. I have never heard of that team, but they play today at 5 p.m. against the St. Louis Blues, and it's the preseason. So
Oxie doesn't know of a hockey team. Name 2 hockey teams that aren't from Michigan.
Chicago Blackhawks and the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Congratulations. You know the 2 teams that are closest to you. Good job. I can tell you the
also
Dallas Stars.
Let's say there's the Bruins, there's the Sabres, there's what's that fucking I'm blank. I don't watch too much hockey. You kind of got me there. I don't know what else to tell you. I don't watch a ton of hockey.
I don't either.
Edmonton Oilers.
I do know that they can get rough. So I would not want to antagonize an opposing team's favorite team at a hockey game. Okay? I'm not going to do it there. Anytime we're at baseball, they're all free game. Any team in baseball is free game as far as I'm concerned, because I could care less. Now, would I do it at another sport? I don't know. Football seems like fun. What else? What else is there? Another team's golf team? Sure. I'm antagonizing the hell out of them. What do you got, Oxie? What do you think?
I think for my own entertainment, it would be fun to watch Michael. I'm trying to think of like the teams that come to mind, obviously, for me are the Detroit teams. Like, I dare you to go watch the Detroit Bad Boys and talk shit about them. Because, like, the Pistons have always just have a culture of, like, yelling back at fans. Like, I would love to see Michael courtside talking shit at a Pistons game. because I don't follow NBA too much, right? But I do know that Detroit in particular has a history of like fighting people and shit. Their coach got ejected last year for fighting someone.
Let's go.
So I think Michael courtside at LCA would be a lot of fun to watch. Like I've said, I've seen Lions fans nearly get into a fight with Cowboys fans back when we were bad. So that's fun. Other teams that are outside of Detroit, though, I think sending Michael to a Raiders game and having him be really shitty to the Raiders, that might yield some interesting results. Cowboys fans just cry. Chiefs fans just cry. If you were really, really mean to either the Eagles or the Steelers, you probably would get beat the shit out of. I'm trying to think. Just because,
people are real passionate about college
Philly,
ball too.
Philly and Pitt. Well, that's the other thing I was thinking of is I can think of a specific example that's going to be happening in Ann Arbor, Michigan this year in November at around noon, where if Michael shows up with his big, stupid, peanut-looking Ohio State bullshit, you will get attacked.
What?
Like
they're playing Ohio State, right? Why would I get attacked? Because y'all are violent?
Yes. Did you not see last year there was like a fight on the field?
No, I didn't see.
Like I understand you've got your Red River shootout or whatever bullshit between Texas and Oklahoma. And as an avid, diehard Michigan State Spartan, all right, I'm an alumni. I love MSU. You get one go blue a year. I fucking hate Ohio State. You get one go blue a year, and I am there. I am tuned in. I am locked in to Michigan, Ohio State, because I don't care who's playing them. I hope Michigan wins by 700. And I bet if you rolled into Ann Arbor talking all your "let's go boys" with your stupid Buckeyes apparel, you might be at risk of leaving there in the heavenly gates. I don't know, man.
I mean, unironically, if I was at an Ohio State game, I would be actually rooting for Ohio State, though.
Yeah, and I think that's what would make it worse.
So you're telling me if I go to Ann Arbor, Michigan, and I'm there for an Ohio State versus Michigan State or Michigan whatever, if I'm there, there's just no Ohio State fans there and they're not allowed because people are going to fight them?
No. They are. They're allowed there, unfortunately. I'm just saying your level of obnoxious trolling will not end in the same way that you think it's going to.
That makes sense.
So especially by students. Dear God, I hope you don't sit by the student section.
Oh,
you'll get shit like thrown.
Little 20-year-old babies. Like I can't beat them up. You don't think I can beat up a little 20-year-old baby?
Michael,
all the big ones are on the field, Oxie. It's fine.
You've met me in person, right?
Yeah, you're a baby.
I didn't play college ball.
You're a little baby. I saw you in college. Schmedium.
I was not a schmedium man in college, I'll tell you that. And I'll tell you what, the Spartans would be dumping beer on your little bitch ass. We'd be like throwing
free beer
and shit at you. See,
free
this level of Michael is very good at pushing people's buttons. He really is. And I think he could do a really good job if he came up to watch Michigan, Ohio State. He could push a lot of really good buttons. I really think he would push too far and he would get the whole shit beat out of him.
I would be like, OH every 5 minutes. OH waiting for the IO. Let's go, boys.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Void, for that question. It was very topical.
It'd be a bloodbath. It'd be brutal. I want to know now in the Xpwaste chat in particular, what teams do we think would what teams fan bases do we think would attack Michael if he was pushing buttons in their stadium?
I'll go one step further.
I want to know from the true fans.
Yeah, I'll go one step further. And I'm going to ask, are you the type of person, are you a diehard fan enough that if I came to your stadium and was like rage baiting for your team, would you beat me up? I want to know. I want to see who's dedicated. I want to be able to travel to your home state, attend your game, and rage bait the hell out of you.
So
let me know.
I have 2 points. The first is when I was in college, I once watched Michigan State play Maryland. Maryland had a player on their team who was recently accused of sexual assault, and the entire student section, myself included, whenever he got up to shoot free throws, shouted, "No means no. No means no." No, the man did not score a free throw the entire night. So I can tell you, particularly in a college environment, as not a very physically violent guy
That's
myself,
amazing.
boy, we would have made you feel fucking terrible. Dude, you would have felt terrible. The second thing, Vacant Void has made my favorite comment of the day, which is Michael yells, "Let's go, boys!" at the Coliseum to the enemies when I'm doing my when I'm doing my quiver run. And
That's what's stopping you.
yep. Michael's just psyching me out so much. I don't. Oh my god.
Oh. Vacant Void with the heaters today. Thank you so much for that very topical and unique fun question. We probably won't see a fun question like that in our lifetimes. So thank you so much for that fun question. If you want to ask us a fun question, there's a lot of ways you can do that. You can post in the fun question section of our Discord like Vacant Void did, but you have to be a Patreon member to do that. You can just post it somewhere and hope we see it. That's an option. You can email us. You can send us a postcard and we'll read it off and we'll showcase your postcard and put it on the wall. Or what's another way? Carrier pigeon? I heard those were extinct, actually. Sorry. No more mail by pigeons. So thank you so much again, Vacant Void, for the fun question. Folks, I think we've done it. We have done the episode and we did it within the time frame that we had to do it. That means nothing to you, which is fine. But I have to call it out because, gosh, is that an achievement for us?
God,
we are a
handsome
couple
and talented.
yappers, handsome, talented, and prone to yapping. So to cover a blog of this magnitude in under 3 hours, chef's kiss. So thank you so much for listening. If you enjoyed the show and you want to catch more of our content, you can check out the description of the episode. And we have all the links you could ever want to our social medias that we don't use. But that's going to do it for the show. Thank you so much again for listening. And we'll find you guys right here next week. Bye, everyone.